Now the driver, the leader, gets to pick the right or left side for the restart. You can see that Will Power has decided to go on the inside, as everyone expected. And he must be the first to cross the finish line. And as he slows down, wait for the flag. Here we go, we're back green.
A little bit more caution, a little bit more respect on that time through.
Made it through turn 3 this time. And you can see right there, Dario Franchitti. Will Power has slid back. He is into the 3rd position. And he's under attack from the 28 of Ryan Hunter-Reay. Our race leader is Dario Franchitti.
Dario, I have to ask you, I mean, you were up front, you didn't get to see a lot of what happened, but what is your take on the double file restarts today?
Well, like I said earlier, we're going to have to reassess what the risk is and how we attack that first corner. And there's obviously, there's definitely more risk there. It was easier for Will and I being up front. I don't know what happened, but I think everybody will be a little bit more, what's the word, circumspect about it next time, maybe.
All right, Dario Franchitti, your winner here at St. Petersburg, Florida, for the first time. Marty?
All right, thank you very much, Jamie, and a very happy Dario Franchitti. Moves him into a tie now, 10th all-time, with Johnny Rutherford with his 27th career win. Rick, let's talk to Will Power.
Yeah, standing by Will Power, not the race you thought you were going to lead. You just had a rough time just surviving the first few laps. You said you did have a little contact in there.
Yeah, someone hit me from behind, but it was a lot of fun, all those restarts. But man, Dario was so quick. I could not keep with him on the blacks. Just didn't have the car there. I mean, he was just fast. He was just crazy fast. But it was still a solid day. You know, I was worried about those double file restarts, but just great for Verizon, Maya, Coke, Izod, Shell, but especially at Verizon to start the championship off this well.
All right, Will Power, congratulations. Vince?
Here comes Will Power, the championship leader. You can see he's on board. He's in an unfamiliar pit position, but he does have a clear exit. Power is coming in. They'll change all 4 tires. They are not going to make any adjustments, and Lindy Will Power is out. Oh, and he comes together with Charlie Kimball. Kimball was coming into his pit stall while Power was going out, and heavy contact for the championship co-leader. They'll back Power out. Kimball is backwards.
James Hinchcliffe also had to wait, but definite, as Kevin was saying, severe damage up there. If it's only the nose cone, they may be able to get it done and not lose a lap.
And that's going to be important right now. And, you know, the Penske guys are one of the best in the business at getting these changes done. So we'll have to see if he gets out before he goes lap down.
Ryan Briscoe gaining 3 positions as we take a look at our Sunoco race off pit lane. Sunoco, proud manufacturer of ethanol.
Now, just like you said, Dan, they so much do not want to go a lap down. They weren't able to finally get that nose changed. They'll quickly try to get up to speed and come right back on the pit lane.
And they'll be prepared for that when he comes in. He'll hopefully catch up with the pack and give the team the most possible time to get it changed.
But that is the way the championships are won and lost.
Yep, they sent him, and well, that is the responsibility of the crew members to send. It looked like Charlie Kimball was a fair way back, but no, that you don't want to wave your driver if you know the position in Charlie Kimball. Now, Charlie Kimball was in the fast lane, though, wasn't he? He should have been one more lane down since he was coming into his pit.
He should have been, and you know, he wasn't. He didn't have anybody around him. You know, that's not really to say he should be doing that, but it's definitely the fault of the person pulling out Will Power.
Right, but Dan, I think what it was that a crew member normally looks up when you see a guy in a fast lane, you think it's clear. Kevin?
What? Power coming in again. He's going to have to get the nose cone changed. They are prepared for that. Charlie Kimball is coming in right in front of him to address his damage. He's got significant damage to the left side pod. They are going to take their time with this, but not too much time. Getting the front nose cone off. It's all one assembly, and they're having some difficulty getting it off. It's taking a little bit of time. They need to stay on the lead lap. That's the most important thing, to still give them an opportunity in this race. They will try to get it on and get the wing changed the way they like, and Power is away, Bob.
Back at Iowa Speedway, we had already thrown to a commercial break for our local affiliates, and so you were not able to see on nonstop. But Will Power has had a very hard contact with the outside safer barrier. There you see Roger Penske, the car owner, very concerned about his driver, Clive Howell, also. We were on board watching Will when it happened, and we'll see if we can determine exactly what happened here.
It just got loose over that bump, and when it snaps here, you know, it's very hard to recover. It snapped very quickly. Huge hit. Huge
Watch this.
hit.
And listen.
Outside, clear.
What you saw there was he was overtaking Vitor Meira. He was going in on a tighter line, and over that bump, it just snapped. He got out of the power, but unfortunately for Will, he hit at the worst possible angle. You know, he had a back injury, and he hit gearbox first, and that puts a lot of the impact through your lower back. Hopefully he'll be okay.
All right, Kevin is with Will Power.
Well, good to see you come out of the medical center. First, are you okay? That was a big hit.
Yeah, just it's rung my bell a bit then. That hurt. Probably shouldn't have been out there with a damaged car, I think. Shit, man, that's not good.
I heard you guys talking before it went green the last time. You wanted to come back in and try to fix things again. What happened?
I was trying to tell him that it needs to be fixed, and I was trying to say we should just come under close to it anyway.
All right, here we're seeing what happened on pit row with Charlie Kimball. Tell us your perspective and what you were hearing.
I mean, they just sent me out, and he came across my bow, and that was that. Bent the steering and broke the front wing. Yeah, and then that's what caused the accident. I mean, I had to put so much lock in to turn the car, and then it caught me out. And, once again, we screwed ourselves in the pits like we always do. We just got to stop that.
We've got a couple of weeks off before Toronto. Are you going to need to get cleared again before you can get back in the race car?
I don't think so. I think I'm cleared now, so I didn't really have a concussion or anything. Just a little bit. Got a bit of a headache.
Okay, sorry, Will. Power out of the race tonight. Lindy?
Here comes Dario.
Oh, those are unbelievable. The championship contenders.
And Power gets the worst of it.
Oh, that was not Power's fault.
Wow.
And he stalled. He needs to be restarted.
Full course caution.
Yeah.
He got a wheel under him, and
wow.
Very similar to the Kanaan situation. Now, what you have to wonder is if race control will give Franchitti a penalty for that as avoidable contact.
Yep.
I'm sure Penske will be pushing for that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that the Penske team will want to see something done.
That's surprising to me. As you said, they have a lot of respect for each other. And I agree. It was probably, can I make it? Oh, no, I can't. And he was trying to abort.
Exactly, but by then it was too late and they touched.
The track officials are sweeping up the marbles as we remain under caution with Graham Rahal, the leader of the race. Ryan Hunter-Ray now second. EJ Biso is third, followed by Justin Wilson and Franchitti, but Franchitti will be given a drive-through penalty. Kevin.
Chip, what did you make of the call against Dario? Sorry? What did you make of the call against Dario? He's going to have to do a drive-through.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I mean, the guy opens the door, and then he closes the door. I don't know, and then we get blamed for it. I don't know if I understand that call or not.
Okay, we're seeing a replay again.
Indy, Toronto, it's getting
guys,
back to what it used to be.
Again, late contact coming almost out of the corner after the apex, but Will Power gets spun around, and that caused the full course caution.
I really think it was just one of those things. Dario thought about it, then tried to get out of it, and it was just, a little bit too late. Guys, and I'm not seeing Dario pit yet, so I wonder if Chip Ganassi is arguing that decision.
Well, they give you a few laps, but he's not going to win that battle.
We have yet to see Dario serve his penalty that we were told about.
You're better off serving it early. You don't want to wait. You want to get it done so you have time to catch back up.
He has moved to third on the racetrack, ahead of his teammate Scott Dixon.
They won't let him carry on forever. They will at some point say they're going to stop scoring you, so they'll press the issue.
He's just trying to get as many laps under his belt. You're absolutely right, to try and spread the field.
Well, now we hear from race control that they have changed their mind and Dario will not have to serve the penalty.
Oh, man. Bob, I'm telling you, the Chip Ganassi I know is that's the one thing you got to respect about. He'll do everything he can to defend his driver, and he's won this battle.
You can't make that call and then unmake it.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta choose your side of the line and stay there.
Yeah, I'm sure Penske's probably scratching his then. What, like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Power, meanwhile, is mired back in 15th position.
Dario, that was as wild as I've seen. What was it inside the cockpit?
Oh, it was wild. Every single restart was wild. The marbles were really tricky on those restarts. In fact, we were struggling just to get side by side on them, and everybody was sliding around, and no, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And obviously, there was contact with Will, which, if he's pissed off, he's quite right to be pissed off there. That is, he braked late. I was going for it on the inside. I hadn't hesitated. He braked really late. I thought, man, that's pretty impressive. But he went wide because of that. So I saw a gap, went down the inside, and he came down and closed the door. So just as the wall was coming out, so I made contact with him, and I'm sorry for that. That's not the way I want to race.
Yeah, he was very angry, very pointed in his criticism. So in hindsight, you would have not pressed the issue there. And here's a look at it.
No, as you can see, he's out there and he's left me a lane, and then he comes down. The wall's coming out, he's coming down a bit, and ultimately, I'll take more than 50% of the blame on that one. I think he's got some of the blame too. But if you look how wide he is here, and then I'm down the inside now, not all the way, but he keeps coming down. I'm hugging the wall there, and he just keeps coming down. So, as I say, that's not the way I want to race, and I'll definitely talk to him about that because, if he is pissed off, I see it as a racing incident, but I will take certainly at least my 50% of the blame on that one.
There was a lot of confusion about whether there was a penalty or not. At one point, we were hearing that you were going to be given a penalty. Did you ever have any concern about that during the race?
Well, you worry about it. What is avoidable contact? There's no doubt what is avoidable contact, and it was happening all day though. And I have to say, I ran through that hairpin side by side with guys on the inside and the outside all day long, and Will didn't give me room. So that was, I suppose ultimately that's it. If I was going to be completely, if I wouldn't have made the move at all, but then if you're not going to make any moves at all, you're going to sit in whatever position you start in. So, but yeah, crazy day here in Toronto. Big day for us though, 1-2 for Team Target. Target's coming to Canada in 2 years' time. This is the big thing. We got a lot of the big guys from Target here. So 1-2 is a great achievement, and all these guys did a great job.
Full course caution.
Well, he's going to be busy now. I think it's his driver.
Powers in the wall. In the tires.
Wow. It's a rough day for the Penske bunch today.
Yeah.
And Powers had a rough couple of races. It just hasn't gone his way.
Of course, he had the really hard crash at Iowa that resulted in a slight concussion, and he was not cleared to drive until last week when he did participate in a test at Mid-Ohio, and of course was allowed to drive here this weekend. But now he finds himself crashed once again. Let's see what happened.
He got hit from behind.
Yeah,
clearly.
Guys, and I hate to say this, but the penalty with Dario becomes a moot point right now. Whether you agree with it or not, really it's not going to make a huge difference to the championship swing.
Well, it would if he won the race, as opposed to having a drive-through and maybe finished in mid-pack. I mean, that could make
or not getting hit at all.
In
the first place.
It'd be interesting to see who hit it.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it again. Maybe we can see who had contact with Will.
Going up the inside.
Yeah, that's Tagliani. Alex Tagliani.
Yep. Oh, man. And Ryan Briscoe was right behind.
Now, Tagliani was laps down, though, right?
Nope.
No, he got that back?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, remember he got it back on that caution.
All right.
He passed.
Yeah, it's Alex Tagliani.
Yeah.
So that would have been for position.
He's been very quick the last couple of races, just unfortunate circumstances.
Will Power is in. They first changed the nose cone, and from the front, the suspension looks okay, but then they shut it off, and the Verizon crew is looking at the rear of the car, so there must be some suspension issues. We see the most looking at the left rear of the car, and now Will Power takes the steering wheel out.
Wow.
So the driver second in the championship is going to have his second straight DNF.
Hard to believe Tag doesn't have any damage off of that as far as they made contact.
Will Power, the defending champion of the race, steps from the car. And you can hear the crowd in the background giving him a big Canadian salute.
Well, Will, first take us through the contact with Dario. What's your perspective on that? He was penalized originally, what we were told. Now no penalty.
Well, it doesn't surprise me he didn't get a penalty because no one, well, he never gets penalized. It's pretty typical, pretty dirty move. So bam, just turns me around. Ah, man, that guy. Does anyone ever penalize this guy? Dirty as you like. I left the inside open under brakes. I turned, you know, my guys did a great pit stop, got me out in front. And yeah, man, really disappointed in Dario. I always race him clean, and he always races me dirty. He did the same at St. Pete, drove me into the wall. I didn't say anything. He did it again today.
Did you come together with Tagliani at one point as well?
Yeah, I think Tag hit me. Pretty typical for him. He's always a bit of a wanker, so he took me out completely that time. So not good for the Verizon car. Man, 2 races in a row, we're out. But yeah, disappointed in Dario, the guy that mouths off about everyone and that whinges about everyone, and he's a guy who raced the most dirty, never gets a penalty from IndyCar. It's just not right.
A very frustrated and very pointed Will Power.
There's a driver that's pretty much fed up.
Yeah.
Right there, it's Will Power.
And Alex, we saw what just happened with you. It's been crazy racing out there. We also saw the incident with Will, and you guys, did you talk afterwards? What'd you say?
Yeah, I'm sure Will is pretty upset, but I was on reds. Will was on blacks. It seems that not being able to pass Danica, and I tried to pass him a couple of times on the inside of turn 3, outside of turn 3, and when I was on the outside of turn 3 of him, he pushed me up wide, almost hit the wall. So. Give him plenty of room, and when I decided to go because he was slowing me down, I went in turn 5, and yeah, it was tight, but I was beside him, so we touch, and when wheels touch in IndyCar, everything goes up in the air.
And as we go back to green, Will said on our air he was not happy with you. Did he express that to you?
Dixon takes
I'm sure he's unhappy, but I was unhappy as well.
There's a caution on the track. We have contact, guys.
I don't think it's contact. I think it's we've got rain in the air, and it is going to slow us down for the second time today. Our 6th caution comes out here with just 19 laps to go, and Ryan Hunter-Reay was closing in quickly on Takuma Sato. He had a 22-second advantage over Sato, and they're running about 23 seconds a lap. Gives you an idea how close he was to going a lap down. So we'll keep 7 cars on the lead lap. And Sunoco fuel will not be a problem for any of these racers, as we will have a total of 10 laps to go. And you can see Paul Blevins, the starter, saying 1 to go to green. So this is going to be the old-fashioned shootout. Let's reset it for you, because we're just coming off our longest green flag run of the day of 83 laps. It'll be Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to take the outside again. Oriol Servia 2nd. Scott Dixon 3rd. 4th, James Hinchcliffe. 5th, Will Power. Danica Patrick 6th, and Takuma Sato 7th. Those are the only 7 cars on the lead lap. And Michael Andretti not happy, obviously. His man's leading, and he liked the moisture. And now they've called it off. And the word is it's because of the light rain in the air again. So what was...
And this is a nervous time as we watch Tim Cindric right now, who's calling the shots for the number 12 machine for Will Power.
Let me correct something. We were told initially it was because of moisture. It was because the cars were not lined up properly. So that's why we're going 1 more lap. So it looks like we are going to go back to green flag racing.
And this is where drivers will want to take advantage of the drivers that are around them. Now for Ryan Hunter-Reay, he only has 3 push to pass left in his camp. Oriol Servia 8, Hinchcliffe 7, Dixon 6, with only a few laps left to go. Does Hunter-Reay have enough to keep in front?
Again, it's Ryan Hunter-Reay, the race leader. He chose the outside lane. Oriol Servia trying to pick up his first win for Newman Haas Racing. Green is spinning. Already in the start. spins. And you see Michael Andretti, he was complaining at the beginning of this because, and there's damage to Danica's car.
Moist track's probably just a little bit. That mist comes down. It doesn't take much with these slicks, Marty.
And this is really going to affect Will Power. It was an all-skate session, that's for sure, coming down the front straightaway. And because of the way this track is constructed, you know, you don't have any room there because there's the pit wall that you see Will Power backed into. And, Jamie, what are you hearing from Tim Cindric?
I'll tell you what, for a good 5 minutes before they threw the green, Will Power was yelling, no, we cannot go. You see him frustrated. I have never heard Will Power use language like he did and scream like he did. He is going in to talk to the officials. He had a 20-point swing in the championship going. You see him try to get stopped. He's going to have a talk. He's frustrated, and they're saying the same thing. That was awful officiating. You see him very frustrated talking to Charles there. Tim Cindric is on his way back to the garage to calm his driver down.
We are going into a red flag situation, and you can see how livid Will Power is, because as of right now, he's dropped to 9th, and it could get a lot worse. So let's go back and show you exactly what happened.
Remember, 650 horsepower. Danica tries to get on the power, puts her foot on the pedal. Back end just starts to come around. You can see everybody else still sliding around doing the same thing.
It collected Takuma Sato. It also collects Will Power. You see Anna Beatrice in this. And of course, Will Power, saw him getting out of the car. Here's a replay of that as he is just beside himself.
It's frustrating. You know, he's not had the season that he wanted to. He's been so dominant, so many racetracks, had some bad luck, some bad calls. Situation at Mid-Ohio, just with an unfortunate scenario of being the wrong place at the wrong time with the yellow.
He was at 47 points the way it was, and now it's 57 points based on where he is right now. And if this race restarts, it's going to get even worse because there's still cars that could pass him for position.
Well, and you saw the frustration with him right there, and unfortunately that gesture is probably going to cost him. He's going to be a little lighter in the pocketbook, I think, by the time the officials get finished with him on that one.
Yes, and we apologize because obviously Will doesn't realize that we're live and on the air with all that.
And what he was seeing was the big screens here in the infield.
And we're hearing now that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Jamie has caught up with Will Power.
Well, and as I reported, I heard Will saying for 5 minutes, let's not go green because the rain is coming. Will, what is it like being in the cockpit when you're told you have to race in conditions like that?
We were begging him. I was begging him, please do not go green. It's too slippery. And from what Tim Cindric was saying, so was everyone else. So everyone was saying it.
And you were yelling at the officials, Brian Barnhart in particular. Are you going to go talk to him, and what will you say?
There's no use. He makes such bad calls all the time. This has got to be it. They cannot have this guy running the show because that was the decision that put a lot of drivers in danger. And, you know, you saw how many people crashed on the front straight, and it was no condition to race in. Shame on him.
Came back from a lap down. You gained 20 points on Dario. At that point, you were 5th. What was it like at that start when it went green?
It was just really slippery. You know, and Danica lost it. So I reacted and went this way, and I saw Briscoe coming, so I reacted, spun. Then I got hit by like 3 or 4 people, and that hurt too. Man, I just can't believe that they make decisions like that. I mean, what are those guys up there doing? They have Alonso. He's raced. He'd never race in these conditions. So to me, it was disgraceful.
Those officials that you were yelling at on the radio are the same ones that hand down fines and penalties. Do you think any are coming your way?
Yeah, I know that I lost my temper, and that that was bad of me to do that. But I couldn't help it. I was so emotional about it because we had such a good day. And we begged them not to do it.
Big points implication here. Of course, Dario Franchitti out, but Will Power is chasing him in the standings. Marty.
Well, and we are still waiting to hear from IndyCar officials about what is going to happen. We're attempting to get Brian Barnhart into our booth here. He is right next door and still in heavy discussion with the other officials of the IZOD IndyCar series. And if we can get him to come over and explain exactly what is going to happen, We'll do that as quickly as we can. As we come upstairs into our broadcast booth, and joining us is President of Competition for the IZOD IndyCar Series, Brian Barnhart. Brian, take us through the process of what is going to be the official results. Who's going to finish behind Ryan Hunter-Reay now?
Well, the official result will be the positioning order prior to the last attempted restart. That's going to be an aborted restart. Obviously, the track conditions were not in a position that was safe for us to run. I couldn't agree more with what Ryan said. It's a mistake on race control's part, but again, based on the information we had, we're getting reports back from the observers, from our track safety people, said there wasn't a surface change, said it was a raceable condition. Obviously, the attempted restart showed that wasn't the case, so it was a mistake on race control's part, and the only right thing to do and the fair thing to do is go back to the running order prior to that restart, because we ended up tearing up some race cars we shouldn't have.
Okay, that's obviously going to make Will Power feel better, but before he knew this, obviously he's hot under the collar. Will there be any ramifications because these guys were venting before they knew that you were going to change this result and go back to that?
Well, I mean, we haven't even looked at that yet, Marty. Obviously, it's we're trying to make sure we're doing the right thing here based on the conditions of the finish of this race. And when you look at what these guys are dealing with out there, with their lives and safety on the line out there, their emotions and adrenaline is going to run hard. So we'll take a look at that after the fact, but that's secondary compared to doing the right thing for the finishing order.
And Brian, were you getting reports from the drivers up into to your head control there to get into the track?
No, and that's the hard part about it. I know a lot of them are saying, but we didn't have a single pit tech call and say that we couldn't go because they were radioing in. Obviously, up top on the spotter stand, we knew there was light moisture on the racetrack, but we were counting on at that point in time the observers around the racetrack and our track safety, and they said there was no surface change and it's good to go. And race control, we can only make the decisions based on the information that's provided to us. Clearly, in this case, it was not good information, not accurate, and wasn't the right thing to do.
And I know from running underneath you, you're all about safety, so it sounds like if you had got that information from the drivers that were in the cockpit, then you would have made a different decision.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd have never tried that, and that was so obvious as soon as you called it. I mean, it's almost one thing if one driver might have spun wheels or had it might not, but when three of them go that quick, it's pretty obvious it was a wrong call.
Well, Brian, thank you for taking the time and explaining that, and I think that it helps ease a lot of questions that were cropping up, obviously, while during the red flag period.
And our leader, Will Power. Now look, he has... I was just going to say, he does not have a preferred spot. Kevin?
It's Anna Beatrice. Anna Beatrice makes contact. Power is in it. They're going ahead with the tire change. Let's see if they have an issue. They're checking the left side of the car. Power is going to be sent away, but he lost a lot of position on pit road, and he's got traffic to deal with on exit.
Wow, Kevin, I was just halfway through the sentence saying that because of his qualifying in Loudon, he did not have a preferred pit spot, and there was definite contact there. They didn't obviously appear to make any repairs. Wow, what a moment for Power.
That is how championships are won and lost. Front nose replaced on the Anna Beatrice car. Dario Franchitti, meanwhile, comes in for his first stop, Marty.
Just caught up with Will. What a day and what a fight for you here. First, Will, talk about what happened with Anna.
Yeah, they just sent her into me. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that one. I was, man, we had the quickest car. We had an unbelievably fast car. After that happened, it tore a hole in the side pod and lost 4 miles an hour. Yeah, that was that.
And then it's just a fight after that, finished 19th.
Yeah, it was just even a fight just to hang on the back of the field. I mean, the car was still handling really well. It just had no speed. I mean, it had so much drag. It was just impossible.
What about off the start? Were you surprised that so quickly Dario ended up leading this one?
Well, I wasn't surprised he ended up leading, but I don't think he was as quick as we were. I mean, our car was really fast. I mean, you saw in that first stint we were able just to pull away. You can hardly ever do that in a mile and a half. So, yeah, I was expecting those guys to end up at the front, no question. But I wasn't expecting us to have a day like we had, lose so many points with so much potential. But it's racing, and come back at Vegas.
Does this put Liz in a weird spot since she works with Dreyer and Reinfeldt?
Yeah, hey, it's what it is. Yeah. It's racing. No, you can't do anything about it now.
You heard it from Will Power, Bob.
Will Power ends up in 19th position as Franchitti finishes in 2nd spot.
Oh!
Power
and Miso.
The points leader has crashed. He did last year here at Iowa. And bringing out the first caution of the evening, a two-car incident between Will Power and E.J. Viso.
Power's car, surprisingly, well, he stopped. Didn't look that bad.
Shut the car off. We'll be there.
All four wheels are pointed the right direction, I guess, by not that bad.
Well, let's see how bad it was.
Oh, E.J. Viso goes low.
No.
And
he's pretty. I don't know if he knew he was down there. He chopped across the front.
And that was not E.J. Viso coming up. E.J. Viso kept his left wheels on the line, and you just have to assume, like you said, Tommy, that Will Power didn't get the word from his spotter that inside of him was E.J. Viso.
On board Will.
You can see how close he is to the yellow line.
And E.J. Viso can't go any lower than the yellow line. And in fact, they were told by race director Bo Barfield that you were required to leave one lane open on the inside. Power did not.
Let's talk to E.J. Viso.
I was just explaining, Bob, how'd you see it, kid? It looked like you were holding your line.
Well, Will was definitely off the pace, and he didn't use his mirror. I just had a run on him. I was into corner one. He just blocked me, and I couldn't go any lower. I already had my front left tire inside the apron under the yellow line. He just kept going lower, and I had nowhere to go. This is not the usual Will that we used to know by being clean. It's the second race in a row that he affects somebody in my team, and it's very disappointing. We had a great car. I believe that we could have won this race. Just a shame.
I was going to say, you moved up quickly, and the thing looked like it was on rails for about 50 laps.
Man, the car was a rocket. I'm very grateful with the team. We've been having some very strong performances. The results are very close, but things like this are stopping us from getting them.
Glad you're okay. Thanks for the time. Back upstairs to you guys.
Robin is with Will.
Will, first of all, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yep. It was a soft hit.
What, from your perspective, what happened?
I just lost it. I just lost it. I feel bad for EJ because I took him with me. But he said to me in the car, I was down low or something on him, and oh shit. Oh yeah, I see. I did not even get the call that he was underneath me. So I feel, man, I didn't even know it was there. I feel bad for him.
Your guys are scrambling around. You going to try and get back in the race?
I think the car's going to be too red. Man, I didn't even know it was there. I can't believe. Oh, so that's what happened. Like, he hit me. Like, I feel bad for him. I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, he said we didn't know if your spotter was talking to you or not.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, that's not good, I feel.
So, but you think it's probably damaged too bad to fix?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'll go back and check it out because, yeah, if we can get out, get some points, that'd be good.
Okay, thanks, Will. Thanks. Back to you guys.
Now, Dario, you're reacting a little bit. When I saw EJ pointed us, I thought that was a little rich.
It's a little rich coming from EJ. He's hit everything but the pace car out there, so...
Let's watch this restart.
They pack up. It's time to go racing. And Simona Di Silvestro goes to the inside on Sato. Is that going to work out?
4 abreast here.
She's going to do what Elio did to her or not? No. Sato keeps it. The Penske boys are side by side, and Elio's going to get the lead. Elio Castroneves gets the lead away from Power. He wants to win 4 times. He's won 3. Nobody's in Elio's league on this track. Drama for J.R. Hildebrand.
What in the world?
We were under
Full
caution,
course
right?
caution.
Under caution.
He's already under the gun for passing under the caution. I wonder if he was trying to let Simona by, and that's what happened. Maybe.
This will tell us.
What? Oh.
Who was that? That was Will Power.
Oh, boy.
That was Will Power.
This is the accordion effect.
Well, something happened. Look at
Well, Power was slowing up to get his tires warm. Hildebrand wasn't watching where he was going.
Oh, my goodness. Right over the top of Power's car.
Is Will Power's car okay? That's what I'm wondering.
Holy cow.
And more debris on the racetrack. The drivers are aware of that. That's good. JR is okay. It was a low-speed incident, but that was awkward. That was...
for a low-speed incident, there's a lot of damage on that thing.
Wild. You see the mirrors broke?
The right side mirrors broke.
And there's tire rub. There's rub at the back. See the smoke?
Yeah, right there underneath the right side of the wing.
That's the rear pod rubbing. and he's checking it out now.
No, he's going to have to come in. Well, I tell you what, you know how hard it is to drive without a mirror anywhere.
Here it is from Will's view.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Heck?
You know, you hear a lot about distracted driving these days, and we make a lot about the steering wheels. You can see right there on JR's car. Look at the number of buttons and information. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he was looking down at a map setting or some information and just flat wasn't paying attention.
So he pulled 2 gears. He'd gone up 2 gears.
Yeah.
Usually you're not pulling 2 gears when you're looking at your steering wheel.
Listen, in fairness to JR, that's almost happened to me 40 times in my career.
Yeah, well, we expect that, though.
But, man, he'll never make that mistake again, I promise you. And you got to hate it for Will Power. He's going to have to pit. It's going to put him in the back of the stack.
And like I said, that mirror thing, that's tough because you drive with your mirrors a lot on these street cars. You're always trying to keep track of what's going on around you. And without that mirror, especially going into like turn 1, the last part, that's an important piece of equipment to have.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah, he's going to have to come in.
This is going to give us a different perspective. This is the view from Simona Di Silvestra's car. Look up ahead on the right. She's saying, if that number 12 is damaged, I'm moving into a top 3.
That's the easiest 2 spots I'm going to pick up.
Look at the right rear. The right rear is all over the place.
Yeah,
it's off.
Cut the tire.
Our pole sitter.
Take your time, Will. Take your time here. We got plenty of time here. Don't let that tire come off. Don't let that tire. Take your time.
That's the voice of Tim Cindric, president of Penske Racing. Here
If that tire comes off, it's going to take the win with him.
Tell us more, Jan.
The reason he's telling him not to be in a hurry is because it's obviously under caution. This will not make a difference for your position. They know they have a fair bit of work to do, and they didn't want to lose that on pit road. They go for 2 areas on the car, obviously, the right rear, and then they're working on the mirror as well. It's my understanding the rules do not allow you to run without a mirror. So even if you wanted to, by rule, you must have 2 working mirrors, and now he does.
So Will Power back in. Is this for something that doesn't quite feel right?
Yeah, I think they're just going to double check everything. The mirror may be off a little bit.
You heard Tim say we're just going to fix this mirror, again, because he's not going to lose track position. He's already running at the back. They basically have enough time as a pace lap, just making sure everything, and now they have a really good chance to look over the rear and see if there is any additional damage, checking the rear wing, getting the thumbs up from the crew, and now adjusting the mirror, so not only does he have one, but it actually is something he can see out of.
Well, he's not worried about losing a position, but what he is worried about is if it goes green, he's not going to be right at the tail end of the pack.
As Power exits, let's get to Hildebrand. Kevin?
JR, what happened in the contact with Power?
You know, we were getting ready for the restart, and I was just dialing my knobs back and talking to the team about the start, and the guys all slowed up, and I just ran into the back of them. It was totally my fault, and because as soon as I hit him, I couldn't help from going anywhere, so it was just, it was totally my fault. I'm really, I'm super sorry for Will. He's obviously having a good race. We were just trying to get back on the lead lap there, and the guys gave me a good car. We had good pace. Was just doing too much all at once when the field slowed up there.
A long day for J.R. Hildebrand. He had good pace, but too many things went poorly. Over to Jan. With Tim Cindric, and we just heard from J.R. Hildebrand saying it's totally his fault getting in the back of Will. Do you think you have the car fixed now to your liking?
Yeah, I think it's okay. We're full of fuel, and some of these guys are going to save fuel, but he's got a long way to go here. So we're unfortunate. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about it, but we'll see what happens here. A long way to go.
But you don't feel there's any necessarily speed damage, anything at the rear that's going to slow him down?
I don't think so. We just cut the rear pod off of there, and obviously it did its job, but cut the rear tire. We just changed it out, and we'll see how it goes. The suspension looks good.
All right, you heard it. He has fuel. Some other people don't. Boy, Will Power with fuel in a hurry, that should be good.
27 laps to go. It will be good, Jan.
With a very frustrated Will Power, you've got to be thinking, man, what do I got to do to catch a break? Let's, I guess, go chronologically. It was going great until a restart with Elio. What happened there?
Well, yeah, the restart, Elio just took off second place. I keep talking to Bo about it. saying, what are we going to do about second place just taking off? You know, he lost me a championship last year when he allowed Hunter Ray to do it, but he just keeps allowing people to do it. So I kind of started doing it myself there when I was starting in second. But and then, yeah, JR ran over the back of me there. That kind of ruined our day.
Here's some of the footage of that from Simone Di Silvestro. Now, he did come to talk to you moments ago?
Yeah, he said, I mean, he was just looking down his steering wheel, and, you know, it's just a mistake, man. You know, it just happens. And, whoa, yeah, it would be bad if he was going any faster. It still seems as though he can run up on the back wheels, but at least everyone's okay, and 16th here, not a good day, but keep fighting on.
How do you get yourself motivated? I know that you wanted to just kind of put things behind you here and have something go your way. You just keep pressing on?
Yeah, I would love to have a race go my way. I can't actually think of the last time that happened. That might be Brazil last year. Might be the last time I actually had a race go my way. So, yeah, I would love to have a good day.
Well, we appreciate your speed and your honesty. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, contact! Will Power gets hit. Several cars going around, and now we have a major melee through turn number 1.
You can't win the race on a restart, but you can lose it.
Power got punted from behind. Okay, let's go back and show you what happened here on this restart that brought out our 6th caution, double what we had yesterday.
Looking for the guilty party. You're right. Everybody's spread out. Let's see what's happening. There it is. It's a car that's on, and he gets through with it. Isn't that always the way it generally happens? So we'll have to get a different view to see exactly who that was.
So was that Castro Neves that got bumped from behind?
No, it was Will Power.
Will Power.
And it was Sebastian Bourdais in the 7 that got him.
NASCAR style.
Then there was no room. There was no room to pass. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8 cars.
Just drives in a little bit deep. Remember, we talked about how bumpy the surface is here, but he just got into the back end of Will Power and started to drive him around. He had nowhere to go, and then everybody else just had block lanes.
I have never seen something like that on a street course.
10 total cars involved in this incident. There is Will Power. This is tape, and boy, he is very hot.
You know, but I got to say, when you're walking, you're not hurt. The last thing you want is for somebody to come along and grab your arm, unless he's headed off towards going and meeting somebody. But
he was planning on meeting somebody at this.
Yeah, he wants a shot at Sebastian Bourdais. Let's check in now with Jamie Little.
Well, we caught up with Will Power. You see his car on the hook right now. You were very frustrated out there. What was the frustration? What led to all of this?
It was, you know, double file restarts, and Bourdais got in the back of me. So, you know, just disappointing for the Verizon guys. We're having such a good day and moved up well. Man, I don't know what's that guy doing, but that's racing, and hopefully the guys can get it back out there, because there's a lot of cars out today, and we can maybe get some points. Not that it really matters anymore, we're so far back, but yeah, really disappointing. No wonder Bourdais, man, he once was a champ and now he's a chump.
All right, thank you. Well, they're going to try to work on his car and get him back out there. Very frustrated, obviously.
Here's Dixon. Here's Dixon. Is it going to be this lap, or does he stay at another one?
He's in.
Dixon's in.
Yeah, he's pushing now. We need an excellent pit stop. Absolutely everything's got to go right here.
And you heard the voice of Tim Cindric say to Will Power, we need a big out lap. Yeah. They know Dixon is coming. Here we go.
Well, Dixon was very, very strong on the in lap.
There we see Will Power on the left. On the right side of the screen, there's Scott Dixon, his final stop. We'll be watching them blend back in. A brilliant stop for Scott Dixon's team. They're back out, and we'll take a look and see where they blend in. Dixon trying to win 2 in a row.
Oh, it's going to be close. This is going to be really close. Watch for Power on the right. Here comes the Penske man.
Wow,
down into turn 1. Dixon's got him, but it's only momentarily.
Oh, and Will makes a little bobble on the throttle. They will both be on the button here. Dixon on the button, Power on the button.
Dixon on cold tires, remember, coming out of the pits. Now is the time for Will Power to try and take the fight. He's got to make it now.
He does not need to force the inside.
Whoa!
That was huge.
He did not need to do that.
Townsend, you just called it.
He did not need to force the inside. He had hot tires. He could have gone to the outside.
Townsend, man, you absolutely called it spot on. He didn't need to do it.
Look at power on Franchitti. Inside goes.
Oh no!
Hang on to it. The two come together.
No!
Wow! And Power knocks himself out of it.
And this will send him straight to the back of the pack.
No, for Will Power. We told you about these two guys at Toronto.
Yeah.
They're like oil and water, and it's happened again.
Dario Franchitti with a good run as well. One thing you can always be assured of is the 10 car is going to run well, and there's going to be a little drama. Tell us about that final lap.
I don't know. I was defending. I did what I'd done all day, what Sebastian had done all day, what Will had done all day, what Scott had done all day, and I gave him the outside. And he wanted to go down the inside when there was half a car width. So he ricocheted off me and the wall, and I couldn't make the corner, and that's my fault. You know, he's shaking his fist as he always does. Always somebody else's fault with Will, and it's never mind. We had a good 1-3 finish there. We'll do a bit of work on the car for tomorrow. We're using the tires a little too hard. Something to do with the setup there, so we'll work on that for tomorrow. And it's a hard day. To do this twice in one weekend is physically pretty difficult.
Very difficult indeed. Another podium, 2 in a row for Dario Franchitti.
And Will Power just had a chance to look at that replay. We talked before the show that this place produces fireworks today. You were the fireworks. What happened in turn 3?
Yeah. Me and Dario just don't like turn 3. I mean, man, I feel bad for the Verizon crew. We were sitting there in a pretty good position. I'm really surprised they let that restart go where Bourdais just went. Yeah, it was a good, man, I've never driven so hard through a whole race. It was kind of disappointing to be sitting there in the tires in turn 3 again. That's racing hard.
Let me ask you quick, though, because it was the second time. The first time was this crazy move just flying by Scott Dixon, same place.
I almost pulled up. I mean, the move past Dixon was definitely, if I just braked a little bit earlier, I would have got him. And it just took me by surprise that he broke early. Then I brake real late, but yeah, just going for a win, really.
A lot of people going for it today, a lot of fireworks, and of course, exciting action. Will Power hoping he'll get a better chance at this tomorrow, because remember, it's not just 1, it's 2 in TO.
We're going to turn your attention to the points, and I also need to, before we get to that, tell you about something pretty dramatic. We've heard from Dario Franchitti. He's standing on the podium, but that's for now. He has had that 3rd place taken away from him. We have just heard from race control. He has had a time penalty for blocking on the last lap. They feel that he impeded Will Power and have docked him of that 3rd place. They've put a time penalty on him. It drops him all the way to 13th, and it elevates Marco Andretti to the podium. So Dario is standing there for now, but it's not real. So Dario does not even know about this himself at the moment. That is just from race control. So let's take a look.
So here's Will Power. He's going to look to the outside. That's Dixon, I think, earlier.
So they were the 2 different passes of Will Power today. One on Dixon earlier, and then that one on Dario Franchitti. So this is only temporary. Marco Andretti has been elevated to 3rd, and Franchitti dropped to 13th on that time penalty, behind Ed Carpenter and EJ Viso. So it's all going on. Drama, and we're going to do it all again tomorrow. Back in the post-race celebrations and drama here in Toronto. This while we're in that commercial break just a few moments ago. Chip Ganassi Racing's PR director, Kelby Krause, just informed Dario Franchitti of the penalty. And Scott Dixon saying, what? What happened? You did what? And that's the look of shock and surprise on Dario's face. He's here live now with Kevin.
Well, this is the strangest podium celebration. You just went through the pictures and didn't find out until right before you sprayed the champagne. Unfortunately, we don't have a monitor to show you the replay, but from your recollection, is this warranted?
No, of course it's not warranted. You know, all day people have been going to the inside, as we're allowed to do. I moved to the inside. I stayed there. There was not a car width to go through there. And, you're braking on the limit. Car's dancing around a little bit. Will comes steaming down the inside, out of control, hits the wall, hits me, and crashes. I don't quite understand how the hell that's my fault. If we have a chance and if we can protest it, we will. But really ridiculous decision, as I say. The whole outside was there, and That's what I and every other bloody driver I was racing with, I've been defending the inside all day. But you know, I think Will did the same thing to Dixon as well, steamed up the inside out of control. So I don't know if that's the kind of decisions to make. It's just bizarre, but it, you know, continues a long run of these type of things.
So now everyone's frustrated, and normally we would go on and have several days before another race, but now you race again tomorrow. How does that impact things?
It doesn't at all. You just go out and do your best as I would, you know. But I just really question sometimes what race control do. I just really question it.
Okay, thank you. That's Dario Franchitti from 3rd to, we're hearing, 13th now unofficially.
Yeah, that's right. The 13th, Ed Carpenter elevated to 12th, EJ Viso 14th. But at the front end of the field, Marco Andretti now is officially in 3rd place. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot to come from this. And all of a sudden, here come the guys who are running in the top 2. Dixon Power on the lane.
This is the race for the race. Marty?
And guys, this could be the race. They did make it to pit lane. Both Will Power, who you're riding along with, and Scott Dixon. You see him right in front of him. They will pit literally front to nose to tail. Right here as Will Power hits his stall, Scott Dixon hits his stall. Neither driver wants changes on their car. They'll both put on stick air red tires and see who can win the race off pit road. Remember, Power's guys had a slow stop. Whoa! Dixon will hit the race, and he hits a guy from Will Power's crew here on pit road.
I think at least 2 are down.
Tight pit there. I mean, you could see that coming.
Oh, you hate to see that. Good to see them both up, at least.
You very rarely see that. That was nasty.
And that will most certainly be
Power
under
was, I mean, you know, he had to get around Dixon to get in the pit if we look at it again. I mean, Power may have been out a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? It was really the right rear guys were pretty far out.
Take a look at it.
But, I mean, that just illustrates the anxiety of everybody. Let's watch this here.
See how the right rear is kind of, boy, that's just tight.
Whoa. Well, he's walking, the pit crew member is walking casually with the rear tire sort of hanging out.
Yeah. And that collected the rear left, didn't it?
I don't know. I mean, we have to see it at a different angle. It's tough to put that on Scott. You would expect the crew member to do everything he can to get out of the way.
See how he's pushing the white line right here?
Yeah, but watch this guy. Look at him. Look at him walk there with the tire in his hand.
Didn't even look like he was looking at Scott.
Well, it didn't look like he made any effort to get the tire out of the way. He just sort of hung it out, and it just ripped right out of his hands.
This will be the best angle. Watch this.
So stop there, and look at that. I mean, he's just walking as if he's carrying groceries home from the store, and Dixon's absolutely clear of this distance, which is the normal distance you measure. And I mean, the crew guy just flat wasn't paying attention. Either that, or that's a bit of a second base place in baseball.
Yeah, like being a conspiracy guy that I am, I'm looking at it going, you know what? I'm going to hang out here and I'm going to make him go around me, and maybe that, you know. So yeah, I mean, we've seen that a lot in racing. But that was a pretty cool move.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to see him get up, but he's going to be sore tomorrow.
Word just in from race control. Car number 9, race leader, championship contender Scott Dixon will be penalized for that pit lane infraction.
You got to be kidding me.
Well, I'm going to have to get some clarification on that. I don't understand what he did wrong.
Well, look at this. Mike Hull is down there speaking with IndyCar officials and saying, what? Tell me more.
What in the world would he get a penalty for? How does he do anything different?
Mike Hull is the general manager of Chip Ganassi Racing and has been around
through the pits.
Oh,
I wouldn't. You can take all your points away from me all you want. I would stay out on that racetrack because there's no way I would pit for that penalty.
How in the world do you expect Scott Dixon to do anything differently coming out of his pit stall?
And guys, I gotta say, Scott Dixon was awfully calm, especially for a guy in the middle of the championship battle. You see him serving the penalty so slow as everybody else flies by. All he said was, are you serious?
This could be a defining moment, the defining moment in Scott Dixon's 2013 championship. And look at him shake his head. He can't believe it.
I can't either. I don't think any of us can.
I'm not even in the car. I'm fired up.
Well, and of course, Mike Hull just brought up on the radio, considering that was Helio Castro-Neves' teammate. I totally disagree with that call. It'll be upset, obviously, here on the target team.
And look at how it swings.
Dixon was in a position of being within 8 points of Castro Neves, and in positions as they run now, he would be 43 points behind. That is huge, Kevin.
Well, guys, let's talk to Mike Hall and see if he agrees with this call. I know you don't agree with the call. Were you surprised it came down?
Well, you know, I don't know. First of all, the reason that they did what they did is because of the safety for the guys that go over the wall. Let's face it. The guys that work on all our race cars they're the most important ingredient that we have. But in this case, we watched the tape. I know they watch the same tape, I assume. But based on what we found out in Toronto, they don't. They don't have the same thing that UTV guys have. So I think what they watched was probably a thumbnail sketch. But in reality, the guy turned his back and carried the tire into Dixon's side pod. If you look at Dixon's side pod, it's got rubber all the way up on the top of it. He walked into us. So if that sets the precedent at the next race, that means that somebody can walk into somebody else with a tire in their hand. I don't know if that requires leniency, but I think that requires consideration. But the most important thing is the guy's okay. And that's the bottom line for me.
Just to clarify, though, you do feel it was an intentional move on Will Power's team part.
Do I see?
It was an intentional move by their part.
Oh, no. You know, how could you say that? Those guys race us clean. We race them clean. We've raced a lot of races with those guys over the years, and we'll keep doing it. And the race teams themselves, we enjoy racing with each other.
From this point forward, obviously there's a lot at stake here with the championship. How will you follow up with IndyCar?
Well, I don't know. You know, what are we going to do? It's not a protestable offense. So we don't really have a recourse. You know, and the court of public opinion is going to be split on it. So, you know, we'll just go to Baltimore.
All right, Mike Hall obviously upset with what happened to Scott Dixon and the penalty lead, but this will be a rough day for that 9 team.
Well, and the answer was very interesting from Mike Hall, because you saw the passion bubbling underneath, because that could have just killed Scott Dixon's championship chances, but then showing concern for the welfare of the crew guys.
I mean, Lee, so what kind of precedent does that set, as Mike points out? So I see a nickel on the ground and I bend over to pick that up and I get hit. Is that a penalty? My shoe's untied.
I understand the reason they're doing it, because they're trying to keep these guys safe on pit lane, which is the most important. But in this incident, the guy was not paying attention.
And he made it as wide as possible. Carrying a rear tire off your hip instead of in front of your body is about that's 3-4 feet.
So I don't agree with that. I mean, they're obviously going to call it the way they see it, but I just think that Scott got robbed on that.
Yeah.
You're going to see the replay here for the first time on the monitor. Take us through your reaction to the penalty and ultimately what happened.
Well, you know, it's hard to know. This is the first time I've seen it. See, and he's walking straight into our car. You can see where the other car is. He's walked towards us on purpose. That's probably the most blatant thing I've seen in a long time. If you watch most pit guys, they try to get out of the way of other people. So that was a bit of a dick move right there, to be honest. So pretty annoyed with that. You know, we had a strong car all day, and, you know, if that's the way they want to try and win, then, you know, that's pretty bad.
So you feel he just simply was trying to make it too wide for you, hoping that you would... it seems strange that anyone would get hit on purpose. He didn't think he would get hit. He thought you would just be able to pull even wider.
Yeah, you know, he's probably trying to get me to, you know, stop and try and turn more. But, you know, at that point, you're already, you know, your wheel's spinning off. And you know, I had a straight line out of the pit, and then he just walked into us. So, you know, I don't know what to say. You know, you look at the people in race control and how they make their calls too. So I look forward to, you know, seeing what that's all about, but the consistency is horrible.
Thank you. Scott Dixon, maybe a win, instead 15th.
Well, Kevin, for Will Power, the other side of the story. In the last 4 Sonoma races, this is his 3rd win, and the top to this all season long. Oh, didn't get the infamous jump. I was waiting for the jump. Welcome back to Victory Lane. I got to ask you right off the bat, though, do you win this race if Scott Dixon doesn't get that penalty?
It's hard to say with restarts, but Dixon took a big hit there for sure. I mean, that's, man, you know, I feel bad for him, but I can't count the amount of times that sort of thing has happened to us in the last 2 years. So we'll take it. It's a win, and man, you know, I owe my guys. They've worked so hard, and I feel so great.
Travis Law is your rear tire carrier. Scott Dixon just said on our air that he felt like it was intentional, his move to slow him down on pit road. Do you agree with that assessment?
I mean, I would be very surprised. I mean, you know, I haven't seen it. It's not even worth commenting on.
And Marty, of course, a lot of controversy. We heard both sides of the story, but the person who made that decision, Bo Barfield, race director, how did you make that call?
Well, I mean, ultimately, we have a duty to protect everybody in the pit lane, and I can't actively protect, but if we have somebody that uses less than great judgment when they leave their pit box and we have an incident, then certainly we've got to make the statement, by penalizing that we're going to make that call. So, there's a couple of different angles that I think probably from the angle you're looking at now, the lines are a little bit confusing because we don't go in and change the lines everywhere we go. There's a different angle if you looked at, you could see the difference between the Target and the Verizon signs on the wall. And if you look at that with the 9 car leaving the pit lane, he clearly crosses right into the pit box, into the 12 car space, and that's where the violation occurred. So, from that overhead right there, as much as it looks like if you're looking at the white line, he's not in the box yet, he's actually been in that box for the 12 car in front of him for a solid half car length. And so that made it easy for us to make the call. You look at risk versus reward, the risk of hurting somebody in the pit lane versus gaining a couple of tenths or a second leaving the pit lane is certainly not worth it, and not something that we're going to look away from and not penalize guys.
Okay, one question for you in the debate was that the crew member carrying the tire, according to Scott Dixon and Mike Hull, were walking towards them. They feel that he walked into them as opposed to Scott Dixon hitting them. What's your opinion?
Well, I mean, ultimately that guy's in his own space in his normal routine of activity that he's used to week in and week out. And for him to have the space, we looked at that certainly too. But if you also look at his right leg at the time that he got hit, he was as close to the other crew members and the car leaving as he could. So really at that point, if that guy's not there, the amount of room that the 9 car took coming into that pit box with the 12 car still there was extremely risky. So I definitely feel good with the decision that we made in terms of the statement that we want to keep this pit lane as safe as we can.
Thank you, Bo.
Sure, thank you.
Servia makes contact with the rear end of the Verizon wireless car as Servia was wanting to get through there. For some reason, Will just didn't get on it, and so he had a little gesture for him as they came off, and James Hinchcliffe managed to avoid it all.
Whoa. Oh, we see Will Power get a piece of Scott Dixon.
Wow.
And turn him right into the wall.
Coming off of 12.
Here we go, we're packing up for a restart. Let's see if we can keep it clean this time. Let's go, Dixon on the inside.
Oh, wow.
Will Power chops across in front of Scott Dixon, and the championship contenders' day is over.
What? Chopped across him.
World.
Holy cow, that was about as blatant as it gets.
Wow.
That was... We got to see that again. I don't want to comment just yet, but he just...
Well, I think he went in for the block, but I think he had no idea he was there.
Oh, that was weird.
That was severe. That was alarming, and that's the face of Mike Hull, the managing director of Chip Ganassi Racing.
And, I mean, I can't believe the irony and Elio having the pit stop issues, these two guys running into each other in practice. Yeah. I mean, this is just...
About the car, Scott, tell us about it.
This is Shakespearean.
And guys, remember their pits are right beside each other, so a couple of stairs were shot across the way as well, so this is not over, I don't think.
Well, if tensions weren't high enough last weekend, they've just been elevated to a whole new level. Here's the replay. Look to the left of your screen.
So you'll see Dixon shoot out right there to the left, and I mean...
Oh, you know what? I think Power was going to pop on Bourdais. There's no way that he wouldn't block that aggressively. I think he had a run on Bourdais. He didn't realize Dixon had popped on him, and that's just a terrible set of circumstances for everybody. That's a chain reaction.
Yep.
Dixon pops, and then Power just pops to make a run on Bourdais. Look at the marbles.
Boy, but it's true. Look from that angle, it's like, holy cow.
And what is the luck of Castroneves after a tough day in your championship competition?
The two closest to you in the championship, yeah.
And how about Dixon? I mean, he did nothing wrong here again.
And boy, Dixon had a great run, too.
I mean, this guy's had the worst luck in the last few weeks.
Yeah, if you look at it, like Townsend pointed out, Power had a run on Bourdais, and he was taking that last second to make the move. And when you're in this position, Townsend, you don't look at the rear view mirror when you're on a restart like this. Yeah, I'm not even sure you're right. I don't think Dixon, he even knows he made contact.
Yep.
He made that pull. You get right up to the back of the guy, you make that last minute pull. I don't even think he knows he hit Dixon.
You might, I mean, Marty, if you're still there, you might ask Tim if Tim Cindric, if Will knows that he was clipped from behind.
I'll get that in, Townsend. There's a lot going on down here right now. They're trying to figure out if they can get the car fixed to get him back in the race, number one. They don't want him to get out, obviously, if they can get this car fixed. But obviously, if they're going to get it fixed, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work.
I just hate to see a racing driver sitting there thinking he just lost it on the straightaway. When it
and even when we saw that first view, when he pulled out to the right, I mean, that looked, from that angle, it was like, holy cow, that wasn't an intentional block. But when you see the shot from the back and how close he was to Bourdais, he was making a move on him.
Bourdais pulled out and just turned hard right.
No, he's
I think he still doesn't know, guys, and they have not offered it up because he's still on the radio saying, I can't believe I did that. We're up in fourth or fifth gear.
But does he know he's been hit from behind? I still don't know that he actually understands that
he still
Dixon
said,
was
I don't know
involved.
what happened, Towns. He just said on the radio, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I heard that, but
he obviously doesn't know that he got into the Dixon car. That's what put him in the wall.
And we all know Will Power so well, and just looking at his eyes, looking at Tim Cindric,
and guys, real quick,
sorrow.
Tim Cindric telling him on the radio now, oh, okay, Will Power says, I get it. He didn't know he hit Dixon. You guys were right on. He said, that's why I turned right. I had no idea.
Thanks for clearing that up, Marty.
Now it makes sense to Will Power. We are back, and some interesting hand gestures and communication between Scott Dixon and Will Power. How much can Scott Dixon take in 2 weekends? He and Ryan Hunter-Reay have watched their championship chances evaporate. And check this out. These two had contact earlier in the weekend, and it ended with smiles and with Will apologizing because Will hit him in practice. But I think once...
But when you're sitting in Dixon's seat, and that's all he's thinking is, that looked like it was on purpose.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why he's angry, because that's the way he thinks right now.
Well, I think you just get to a point where you're just like,
enough's enough.
So many weird accidents, so many weird things. I mean, how could it be? But I can't fault Will there. I understand what he was seeing.
After looking at the replays, absolutely accurate.
All right, Marty's there. Marty?
Well, we'll try to get a word with Scott Dixon, talking it over with Chip Ganassi. He was clearly upset. He went to one of the head IndyCar officials and had a chat with him. Scott, what did you have to say to Rocket?
I was just annoyed that it clearly states every time that they'll bring the car back to the pits unless it's 10 laps to go. We're fighting for every point at the moment. There's a little bit of suspension damage, but definitely something we can repair. So I have no idea why they haven't brought it back to the pits. But that's just Bo making it up as he goes every time. There's just absolutely no consistency. Ray Hall takes me out. Doesn't seem like any penalty. And then the 12 car just slams us on the wall. So, man, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
So you were not upset about the contact. You're upset because IndyCar will not bring your car to pit road.
I'm upset about that, but I'm also, I'm upset about the 12. I don't know what he was thinking. I was clearly alongside, and then he just turned straight into me. If you're pulling in that direction, you're going to see that mirror. You can see a car clearly in it. So it was a total, in-reaction situation, and I'll talk to Will afterwards. I don't want to get, say something that I'm going to regret later.
All right, Scott Dixon with his thoughts on that, clearly indicating he felt like Will Power blocking him on that move, and also upset with IndyCar because he would like his car back to pit road because they feel like they can get back into this race. Well, Kevin, kind of the turning point of the race, certainly when Will Power and Scott Dixon got together. Walk me through what you knew of the incident. We played the radio where you were kind of saying, I thought I lost it on my own, but Scott Dixon felt it was intentional on your behalf.
Well, I mean, obviously, when Tim said Dixon was there, I've got to run on Bourdais. I've got to run on him. I'm looking at him, and I'm pulling out to pass him, and then I'm in the wall.
and I thought I just lost. I thought I must have lost on cold tires or a bump. I didn't know what happened, and then
here's a replay. Or actually, here's a bunch of replays. You can see you making the move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all bad. I mean, man, I had no clue he was there, and I feel terrible for him. You know, that just to kind of ruin 2 days there, two drivers' days. I mean, it's just yeah, not good.
It was just an instant reaction from you to make the move on Bourdais?
Well, I was just looking at Bourdais' back. I got a good run on him. I was going to go up his inside, and Dixon obviously had the same run on me, and you know, I just feel bad, man. I had I looked in my mirror, I just I don't know, I just didn't even think to look in my mirror. I thought I got such a good run on this guy. I was focused on him to pull out. You know, I just feel bad for him. You know, I know he was in the championship hunt, and man, just a bad thing to have happened, honestly, like this.
Well, after the meeting this morning with Derek Walker, and as you watch another replay right here, and you clearly knew that you were trying to play by the rules and trying to play fairly today, not intentional, as you say, on your behalf. How do you move forward then with Scott?
Yeah, I mean, man, I was just trying to win the race, you know, trying to beat Bourdais, because we knew that he wasn't going to be able to stop, so try to get in front of him and gap him, man, I can't say anything, but, you know, I'm just so sorry to Scott. Like, he's not going to want to talk to me, but, man, absolutely not intentional. I didn't know he was there, and, yeah, just a very, very bad situation.
When you and I talked before Sonoma, you said Sonoma, Baltimore, 2 best chances to win the rest of the year. Can you describe the level of disappointment? Because you might have had the car to beat today.
Yeah, we had a great car. I mean, we had a good car, and, you know, I just think they got to change the rule on these double file restarts. It's just ridiculous that you can get runs on people. And, you know, NASCAR does it right. And I just don't think we can do double file restarts on street courses.
Should it be done away with, period?
I just think they should be done away with on street courses. It just doesn't work out at tracks like this and Long Beach. I mean, yellow after yellow after yellow. I mean, you know, do people want to watch racing under yellow? We've got to have a good think about how they do that.
Well, Lee, we certainly saw some exciting racing today, and some good points brought up by Will Power.
Here we go with 28 laps to go.
Whoa, it's accordion, it's accordion. What's going on? I have never seen. You know what? That falls on Will Power. That is a ridiculous speed to bring the field down for the start. Yeah, that is crazy.
Totally uncalled for. Just identify the accident cars. Hawksworth and Andretti were the 2 in contact that are stopped on the front stretch, and we're back under caution again.
That's stuff that happens at go-kart level. And especially bad for both those guys who are running a lot of miles, trying to have a good day, especially for Hawksworth. I mean, what a great job he has done today. And there's Michael Andretti, owner of Andretti Autosport, Marco's father.
We need to see that again, because I have no idea why Will Power slowed down so much. So there's an acceleration zone that is set by officials. And the leader is supposed to begin to accelerate to restart the race within that zone. Alan, once you start accelerating, you continue accelerating. Exactly. You don't back off. I have to see it again, but you never back off and go again.
Yeah, that's like I said a second ago. That's something that happens in karting when the guys don't have much experience. And, you know, Will Power is a friend, love him, but you just can't do that. This is the highest level of racing. See, now the pace car is going to go in. He's slowed down for the pace car. And so as soon as he starts to accelerate, he's got to start moving the car. He's got to start going. And this is a single file restart. Everybody's expecting him to accelerate. He's slowing down by the time he gets up to the first cone zone.
But now let me just play a slight devil's advocate here with you. He hadn't reached that first acceleration zone line yet when things started bottling up behind him. See that same height you were getting stopped so I can tell straight.
Now the pace car is going in there a little late. Probably could be further away. But at this point in time, this is exactly, if we watched it, it looks like he's starting to slow down just a little bit. You need to continue to increase the speed.
All right, so just by way of understanding, the first mark for the restart zone is way back by where that inside wall comes to play. So he's not to it yet.
No, but watch.
Not
it looks
to
like
it yet.
He's still going.
Not to it yet. Here, That's the beginning.
But Alan, he looks like he's in first gear.
He's slowing down. Certainly looks like he's starting to go slower. Could be wrong on that, but what the league IndyCar will do is go ahead and take all the data from that information.
Well, why would you? I mean, all acceleration means is whatever speed you have at that point, you accelerate from there. I don't believe they're asking him to accelerate from 10 miles an hour. And the drivers behind, I know that looked like they all made a mistake. It's a start, let's go. So there was nowhere for them to go. And Hawksworth started, he was the first one to clip somebody, but he actually had nowhere to go.
Vince?
With Michael Andretti. Michael, what was your thought on that restart?
Yeah, I mean, Will caused the crash. I mean, he stood on it, and then he got the accordion effect on, and then the guys in the back had nowhere to go. So, I mean, I think they should do something to Will in that, because that was it was wrong for what he did. And they're not allowed to do that.
Saw Marco get out a little bit gingerly with that right arm. Any report from the team in regards to his injury?
I actually didn't see. I don't know. No report.
Yeah, with Marco Andretti as he's walking up pit lane. Marco, the first thing we have to ask is, how are you feeling? Looks like your hand hurt.
Yeah, my hand hurt. I just didn't get, it happened pretty quick. I didn't get my hand off the wheel. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like an accordion effect. I had a good restart going, but we were junk all day, so what are you going to do?
You also got a limp as well. You got really banged up in that one.
It was just a bad angle. I didn't hit that fast, but it was just a bad angle. It stopped pretty quick.
Well, not the way you want to end it, but not a great weekend for Marco. But obviously, the question now is whether he has any actual injuries or if it's just banged up.
All right, Rick, thanks. So certainly a moment of conversation on the first restart of the race, and a single file restart for the first time after they used double file restarts last year. IndyCar going to the single file restarts for the road and street courses, and Will Power being the point of conversation after the race leader and an accident behind him. Jamie?
Well, I'm with his strategist, Tim Cindric. Tim, I know you had a little conversation with your driver after that. What did you see?
Well, he was complaining that the green went before the cone zone, that they threw the green before that, so he's expecting it a little later. So obviously that kind of stacked up everybody. He didn't brake check Elio or anything like that. He said, I was just bringing them down slow, and they threw the green earlier than they said they were going to throw the green in between the two cones. So it caught him off guard a bit.
Thank you for your time, and Eddie, perhaps that's exactly what you were talking about, just easing them into the green.
Yes, they have a very complicated rule book in Indy cars, and I think on Monday there'll be something added to how they do these single file restarts.
And there's a couple of things going on here very quickly. When we look at this pace car, he needs to be off the course before the cars come to the last turn.
We talked with Marco Andretti earlier. The other driver taken out of the race by that restart incident is Jack Hawksworth. He's with Rick.
Standing by with Jack, not the rookie debut that you were hoping for. You had a great run really going up until that point, but what did it look like to you? I mean, you kind of were in the middle of all that.
Yeah, I don't know what the leader was doing or what was happening at the front, but they all just, I mean, they went. I heard green, everybody went, and then suddenly, you know, the leaders all stopped, and there was a huge concertina. I hit somebody, somebody hit me. It was just, I don't know what was going on at the front.
Simon Pagenaud in the tires at turn 6.
And that's a problem. That banner wrapped up in your front tires is not good. It will block off all the braking, all the inlet for the brakes. That flapping around will beat the front wing. The wing is braking now.
Sounds like a guy with a lot of experience.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that a few times. I've had the team say, "Come in, we need to change the wing," and I'd say, "No, I'm staying out."
Here's the reason he's backwards.
Chrome horn. Just sent him.
Now that one's a little more interesting. I was just saying that Bo Barfield has made it a point this year to say, "Hey guys, side-by-side racing, a little bit of rubbing, that's okay." But man, I don't know if Pagenaud had any idea that Power's nose was in there.
This is what it looked like from the Verizon Chevy.
Looks like something I would have done back in the day in that team.
Not quite close enough. Simon Pagenaud has limped his way back around to the pits. Kevin Lee is standing by, and he was in second place. Frustration for Pagenaud.
Oh, it has to be. Will Power is one of his best friends, but also one of his fiercest rivals, former teammates. Pagenaud says, that's the guy I'm always trying to beat. This is more than just the routine nose change, because they've got to get that banner out of there as well. So our second front-runner, first Sebastian Bourdais, now Simon Pagenaud with an issue that sees them lose an opportunity to win.
was an eventful day, and you ran into your friend Simon Pagenaud afterwards. Some words. What did you guys say to each other?
Man, I'm really sorry what happened. I honestly thought he had a problem because he went back really slowly, and so I went up his inside and then realized he was just going to turn and try to back out, and I got him. Yeah, my bad. Like, I feel bad. I mean, man, I don't like to be raced like that, and I'm surprised I didn't get a penalty, but yeah, I honestly thought he had a flat tire or something because he was really slow, and I didn't understand why. I just thought he had a problem, but yeah, my bad.
He seemed quite angry. Did he not want to hear of your apology?
Well, he should be angry. Man, I'll be the same.
Will Power starts the year off with a win and a second place here today. Lee, it was an eventful day, and you ran into your friend Simon Pagenaud afterwards. Some words. What did you guys say to each other?
Man, I'm really sorry what happened. I honestly thought he had a problem because he went back really slowly, and so I went up his inside and then realized he was just going to turn and try to back out, and I got him. Yeah, my bad. Like, I feel bad. I mean, man, I don't like to be raced like that, and I'm surprised I didn't get a penalty, but yeah, I honestly thought he had a flat tire or something because he was really slow, and I didn't understand why. I just thought he had a problem, but yeah, my bad.
He seemed quite angry. Did he not want to hear of your apology?
Well, he should be angry. Man, I'll be the same.
Will Power starts the year off with a win and a second place here today. Lee. Another beautiful day in Long Beach, California. Mike Conway gets the victory in the 40th running of the Long Beach Grand Prix. Fun race and a lot of things going on. It was a very intense day. This is friends, Will Power and Simon Pagenaud, having a little discussion after the race. And I don't know if they're friends any longer. We have caught up with Simon Pagenaud, and let's chat about what exactly happened with you and Will in the discussion after the race, and what did you guys get done there?
Well, I think it's pretty clear what happened there. It's yeah, I hate to complain, to be honest, but when you're somebody like we and you whinge about everything, especially people taking you out, then you don't take people out and say you never do it. It's like it just doesn't. It's not right to me, and very disappointed. I think we had a car to win. We had a great package, and he pretty much ruined our race, our chance. So. As you can imagine, I'm very disappointed in that. But
there you see you wagging your finger at Will Power as you go by.
It's the right finger. I was very careful with that.
Well, what happened in the incident? You guys are former teammates and fairly good friends.
We were very good friends until now, I guess. We won't be going on vacation together, I guess. But I don't know, man. It's just, one of those things. He
said you slowed down dramatically, he said.
Racing, green flag, and I slowed down. Good for him.
And he didn't seem to want to hear his apology either, did you?
Did I want to hear his apology? I think it's a little late for that. So, it just ruined my race, as you can imagine. I'm disappointed, but I'm going to move on that. I mean, it's done. I got P5, which isn't bad considering the situation.
From last to P5, too. That's impressive.
The car was fast, man, and that's why I'm disappointed. But the SPM team was awesome. Honda was great, and you were P5. It's pretty good start of the season, and hopefully we can win when we have a good car like this again soon.
Lee, we learned in that interview that Simon Pagenaud had a great race, drove from the back to the front up to fifth, and that he and Will Power will not be going on vacation any longer.
The Frenchman is resilient. He's had a pair of fifths in the opening two races of the year, and he just hangs tough. That's why he finished third in the championship last year.
Well, those walls here at Belle Isle, as James Hinchcliffe said in our pre-race interview, have reached out and grabbed someone. The first of them is Simon Pagenaud, one of the winners here in the dual races last year. You see him climbing from his car at the end of the back stretch, turn 7.
Everybody fighting for position. Now, obviously, Will spun the tires coming out of the turn, so now he's off the normal line that he should be. And then a look for Simon, and actually Will just starts to come over. Should have thought that somebody was on the outside of him simply from the fact he was in the middle of the road.
But we don't have spotters here, so the only way he would know is by looking in his mirrors.
But when you're defending, we're riding on board right now with Marco Andretti's Snapple machine. Now just watch this, just enough to move him offline and catches his left front with the wall. Those guys were already at it beforehand. Sends him off a little bit. I suspect that Will probably didn't know him there. Probably just thought that he would get out of the throttle so he wouldn't have a run on him going down the straightaway. And look what the left front is now.
But another issue he had Marco Andretti on the right-hand side, so he had to focus on what is next to him a little bit behind on the left, but also Marco, who was on the other side, so his movement was limited of what he could do to defend. a horrible way to end a race.
So Pagenaud, 4th in the championship, starting the day. He's got a disabled car very early on in the first of what you can essentially consider a double points weekend. Races today and tomorrow.
Back at the Chevy Indy Duel in Detroit, under caution, under yellow here for the incident involving Simon Pagenaud. And Simon, take us through what happened.
Well, I guess it's a racing incident, right? Will was struggling with miss upshift, and his tires, I guess, were not new, so they were going off. And you know, I was trying to get around him, but wouldn't give me any rooms anywhere. So, you know, unfortunately, there he's actually, you know, I'm trying the outside, which is honestly optimistic. I know it. I should have known better.
Any shot to get back in?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much damage. We could change the wishbone and go back out, but I don't know if race director allows us to bring the car back to the pits. I think we could definitely go back out. There's not too much damage.
Okay, Simon Pagenaud, tough start here in Detroit.
Saw the details on the German Formula One Grand Prix. You'll see on CNBC. Don't forget to check out NASCAR. Oh, down low, Power.
As you see, Castroneves gave a little signal to Power there.
Yes,
He did not like that blocking. And I don't know if...
Well, I think Power gave him a weave, and then he gave him a second bob, and here goes Power back around. And we understand the incident is under review from race control. I'd like to see that one again in slow-mo. Here it is.
Castroneves calling the cops on his teammate.
So here is Castroneves. Oh, Power is proactive, but then he's reactive there.
There's
two moves.
That's a little out of line. He made the move in reaction and then double reacted on Castroneves.
So Paul Tracy, you're the commissioner. What do you call?
Well, it's a block. I mean, you can make one move, but then once he saw Castroneves go again, he made another move on him. So
I agree.
I think it's what they all know the rules.
I don't know how you don't pull Power in for that here for a drive-through.
There it is from the stewards. Black flag drive-through to Will Power for that blocking move on his teammate Elio Castroneves. And keep in mind, they are 1-2 in the championship. Lotion and Marco Andretti resume. There's the 12 of Will Power. He'll hit the pit lane.
And he's flying into the pits.
And he's got to be careful not to get a second penalty for pit speed.
Dixon follows him in to try to get on the same strategy as everybody else, but this will really take him out of the running to at least win the race, I think. Must be some complaining on the radio from Power. He's got his...
Well, that command from Tim Cindric was, you know, I think I felt the tone of frustration in the decision that Power had made to defend that heavily on a teammate.
Well, I'd have to agree with that. It's one thing to make those kind of moves against your adversaries, but to make a move on your own team car is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, that was the first move. Well, that was the second one. Though Castroneves got by, he was furious with his teammate.
As he should be. I mean, got to remember, folks, you're going 225, 230 miles an hour down the straightaway with open wheel race cars.
Yeah, there are no small incidents at a place like this.
From victory circle to what could have been for Will Power. Will, this day was going exactly how you wanted it to go until that incident. How do you see it with you and Elio?
Well, I actually let him go. I actually went wide over the brakes and actually touched the brakes. What, you going to show the replay?
Well, so you can talk us through what happened.
I move.
I just heard you had the discussion with Tim Cindric. He said they thought you moved again. Now that you see it, what do you think?
I was heading that way. I was heading over and over. Yeah. And he is my teammate. Yeah, I know what to say. Another penalty, another drive-through, and another really good opportunity lost. I'm sure the commentators up there, as they always do, Townsend and friends, gave me a good rap. There you go.
All right, well, Will Power obviously knows this year with penalties and frustration. Many times he said, you know, this one's on me, this one. He didn't like the look of that replay.
Well,
I don't know what to say from up here in the
booth,
Will.
Willie P, I call it the way I see it. That's what you told me to do. And I mean, that was a double move that really cost you in the points. So,
boy, did it ever. Here are the standings. Will Power and Elio Castroneves are now tied for the championship lead.
Not often do teammates come together like that and one penalized for another. Watch this. You're chasing Will Power and he moves.
Well, that's one thing about our team. Team Penske, there is no team order. And we race hard and we race and we push for it. And unfortunately, I'm not the one to make the calls. And but I think we're really pushing hard. Obviously, we're fighting for the championship. And in the end, it's not my call.
I'm Mark James, joined in the broadcast booth by Nick Yeoman, and a chuckle went up here in the booth because we just went to green flag for the final warm-up session before the race later today, and Nick, already some guys testing the boundaries a little bit. Will Power and Scott Dixon.
Green flag goes up in the air to start the warm-up session. Everyone peels off of pit lane. Scott Dixon has that first pit box, so he leads the field off of pit lane. Will Power's feeling a little racy in the first 15-20 seconds of the warm-up session. Dives to the inside of Scott Dixon up the hill in turn number 2. Overcooked it, Mark. Got in the dirt and kicked up quite a bit of dust. So that's not usually how you see warm-ups start, but big weekend for Will Power. He's got his work cut out for him if he wants to claim that second Verizon IndyCar championship today.
Dixon has the lead as they work their way past the fountain. That's turns 2 and 3.
Oh, that's tight right there. You're not going to go 2 abreast for very long.
Oh, no, Kimball!
Right away. What did I tell you? And that is Charlie. That will put him out.
And that's 2 races in a row. Kimball went out on the first lap at St. Pete.
I could see that brewing immediately. I said, you're not going to go 2 abreast for very long. And Will Power looks like he might have a bent A-arm.
Yeah, but
Charlie's car, the rear suspension is broken. The rear wing is broken. Side pod, but this is disastrous for Will Power. Obviously, front wing broke, but that front toe out could be bent as well.
A race a year ago, not one caution. They didn't even get through turn 5 before the first caution came out this year.
Look for guys to start pitting now. Look at that front A-arm. Is it bent, Townsend? I see down here in the corner right here. It looks like it's bent down in there where it goes into the tub. So this
look
is
at Will
disastrous.
Power's waving like he's going to be able to continue, but that looks like a severe impact. Maybe it's just the angle of the wing. We'll know as soon as he gets going if the steering wheel's askew, but Charlie Kimball just destroyed the back end of that car.
I saw this brewing here as they went into the fountain. It's almost impossible to get through that 2 abreast. Will Power stuffs it down the inside. Charlie, they bump there, bump again, and Will says, I'm going by no matter what, and he wasn't all the way up there.
Well, but listen, that started, Paul, side by side at the fountain. It's not like Power stuffed his way in. They were side by side going in there. Kimball's got to know somebody's still there.
But you got to know Charlie's tough to pass. He's always tough to pass, and Will wasn't all the way up on him, so everybody knows that Charlie is a tough guy to pass.
But for Charlie Kimball, that's 2 races in a row out in the first 2 or 3 corners.
12 of Will Power still on the lead lap. He's going to get back to the attention of his crew. They've taken off the front wing already.
And that front suspension, Paul, it looks okay right now.
As long as this suspension is okay, this could be a blessing in disguise because he can go off strategy now. He's kind of in the no man's zone in 10th, 11th, that group with Andretti, Kanaan, Bourdais. So this could play out. He's not out of it by any means as long as the car's not damaged.
And for the second race in a row, Charlie Kimball involved in an early incident on track. Charlie, what happened?
Yeah, I went through the fountain and got a pretty good exit. I think I got clear of the 12 car. I thought I was clear. Went into turn 4 and about the apex. He got into the back of me and turned me, put me into the wall pretty heavy. It's frustrating because the Novo Nordisk team, the 83 crew, worked so hard this weekend. We didn't have a great day Friday, but we had a really good day yesterday, ending up 7th in qualifying, less than 100th out of the Fast 6. So I feel for these guys. They worked so hard all weekend. We had a fast race car, and unfortunately, when you're street racing like you are here at Long Beach, these things happen. But it caught me out at St. Pete, caught me out here. So hopefully we're saving up some luck for Barber, Phoenix, and then especially at Indianapolis.
Charlie will watch his teammate fight for the lead now. Marty?
And Katie just checking in on Will Power. He's all the way in the back of the field at 18th. That's who Charlie Kimball crashed with earlier on. He has a lot of work cut out for him. But the good news is, and I know this is what you guys were questioning, Paul, when he came down pit road, he said the steering wheel was straight. So no damage to the suspension. They did put on a front wing. And Will told me before the weekend started, if you go back to last year, we had 3 straight DNFs. They had the fuel pump issue at St. Pete. He can get to the front, but it's going to take all afternoon to get there. He's got a quick car.
Big crash. I know yellow's going to come out. That is not what Power and Penske wanted. Blocking pit entry as well when you're low on fuel.
Felix Rosenqvist.
And the danger zone bites.
That is turn 19 out there in the runoff. It looks like he lost it on the bumps on cold tires on his outlap. And he spun and hit at the pit entrance, and this is going to ruin Power's race.
Huge break for Colton Herta, who had just pitted. So Colton and Newgarden and Hunter Ray looking pretty. This is a disaster.
Dixon now in 3rd place.
Wow.
But has he pitted?
No.
The only guy that's pitted is Herta. Herta could go into the lead of this race and get his first win.
Herta, Newgarden, and Hunter Ray sitting pretty. See the safety workers come to Rosenqvist. Was he trying to get to pit lane?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If he had a wild ride off turn 19 and then was trying to come back in.
I cannot believe Power and Rossi.
Was the danger zone, just like you said. We say it every week. Every week.
Rosenqvist had just pitted, so he wasn't trying to get back to pit road.
He was on cold tires out there in the bumps.
Must have had low ride heights.
And get away from you, but tell you what, you said it. We say it every week. You hang yourself out there when guys are on cold tires or mixing it up on cold tires, and here's the replay right here. Uh-oh. Locks it up.
Now this is several corners before.
It's a drag race.
Trying to get around the Schmidt-Peterson car of James Hinchcliffe, so he's on the outside of Hinch. Out wide, Pagenaud's there as well.
Oh, there might have been contact here. Look at this. Hinchcliffe does not give up. He's way out there. Oh, they touched. They touched.
Hinch just got big time into the back of Rosenqvist.
And that's what happens when you're racing guys on cold tires and the leader doesn't pit. You're in the danger zone, just like we said.
Just a gutted Will Power, Kevin, has climbed out of his car. Their day officially done. Wow, Will, you ever had anything like that? And you have any idea officially what it was?
It feels like an input shaft. I just released a clutch snap and I could kind of hear it grinding together. So massively disappointed, man. Like, you lead so many laps and work so hard all weekend to put yourself in the position. And if the yellow didn't get us, the dry shaft did. So yeah, I hate the way this series does this. Pit's closed BS. You know, you can be the best guy out there, lead all day, and a yellow can fall, and someone can just fall into a lottery. It's the only series in the world that does it this way, and it needs to change.
Any conversation about maybe pitting early there because you guys were clearly in the danger zone, Will?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would have been keen to pit early. You know, these guys are looking at the times, but you know, they can see better than I can, and just trying to cover Rossi, I guess. And man, in another hole at the beginning of the season. But the guys have done a great job. We're quick every weekend. I just don't know what to do. I just want to have a good run, man. I just want to have a normal run in a season without this sort of crap.
You can tell very frustrated Will Power, and Liz, his wife, her family is here. She is from the state of Texas. He wanted to win it for her, and emotion here from Will Power and his family, just devastating early into the race.
He was, in addition to winning the 500 last year, he was a championship contender at the last race with 4 DNFs, and that was one of his objectives this year, not to have any DNFs. Unfortunately, at just the second race of the year, he's got one. Oh, and Romain Grosjean is in the wall.
Oh, we're going to get a restart.
Such a good weekend, so many good drives, and now the field is going to be brought together.
And Liz is like, are you serious? It's going to stack everybody up.
Grosjean had such an encouraging weekend. Car wasn't the best for him, even though he qualified really well on the second row of the grid. Let's find out what happened to Romain Grosjean. Whoa.
That's over in the fountain turn, and it's kind of strange. All I can think is that he climbed the apex curb
Because there's no wall there, it's the curb,
No,
right?
but the apex curb is super steep. It comes up at about a 45-degree angle, so you really can't touch it at all, or it'll launch the front end. Second red flag of the day. This will come to a stop again on pit lane, so IndyCar can clear the car of Romain Grosjean, and they want this thing to finish under red. And Will Power must be saying, "Are you kidding me? Come on!"
Not finish under red, finish under green.
Finish under green. Sorry, but Will Power must be thinking,
yeah.
Come on, I've got a lead, I'm comfortable, big gap out in front, and now all these drivers are going to get a chance to attack Will Power on the restart."
And I think that's Will saying, please come to the car immediately. I think these drivers are exhausted from heat. He has asked the team, please come to the car immediately with some water for me. And they're going to run to the car to get Will Power some water. These drivers are beat, Townsend.
And those cooling fans. There's the fans, they'll go up on the up on top just to give him
this
some
is
assistance.
An interesting dynamic. The officials say no, you can't go to the car, and the team members saying my driver's frying inside.
Take some deep breaths here.
Yeah, deep breaths. This was a topic of discussion, by the way, folks, earlier this weekend with the heat and humidity. And remember, this is the first time that they've raced at Detroit with the aero screen. Scott Dixon with his visor up, every driver with their visor up. We often think that stopping is better, but stopping is worse because there's no airflow. And it is, it makes it tough, really tough. Who has a cool suit? Who doesn't? This man does. That's Colton Herter, who was in an incident earlier with Jack Harvey. And look at Power. Power saying, please, please, come to me, come to me.
He's literally on the radio saying, IndyCar, please let them put a fan on me. I am roasting in here.
This has been intense, to say the least. Another drink bottle there, another fan there.
The issue here, Diff, is that when you've been running on track, you're getting all that airflow through the air scoop. When you come to a stop, it just heat soaks.
Right.
And you're just sitting there, and all of a sudden your core temperature, your head, everything just starts to rise. The car is like an oven at this point, and these guys just have to sit in there and deal with it. Looks like there's a little bit of trouble here trying to get Will Power's car refired.
Restart it. Wait, I went all the way down, back up. Is there any, keep it, can't even.
They're spinning the motor, but no ignition. Oh boy.
Oh no.
It will not fire. And Will just not happy on the radio, obviously, but they keep trying here, and it's not cranking. Holy smokes. This is your concern as a strategist or a engineer?
Unplug the jump battery.
Oh no, now
they're worried.
They're pushing them out of the way.
Yeah.
When they do that,
they're going to send the rest of the field.
Exactly. Oh.
They are going around Will Power. Wow.
Oh, that is a gut-wrenching blow to Will Power, the Verizon team, and Team Penske. He has led the most laps in this race, 37 of the laps thus far. And within 5, actually less than that,
Copy.
the engine will not fire.
I can't believe it. He fought his way to the front. He had clean air. He had the lead. 5 laps from the finish, comes to pit lane.
It still won't fire. They borrowed a quick jack from their teammate Joseph Newgarden, and they actually tried to bring their starter over for Will Power. But this is crushing for Will Power. I think this race is over, guys.
I don't think it's a starter issue. I think there's something going on with the ECU.
An ECU down here, guys.
So they're going to try to run down a replacement ECU, but it's not going to matter, I'm afraid. By the time you get that replaced, Power's going to go a lap down.
It's over. It is over for the guy who was on the brink of his 40th career win, and he is sitting in that heated cockpit.
And it wouldn't surprise me if the temperatures in the car got so hot that something electronically just overbaked. There you see the Verizon mechanic running with the ECU in his left hand. electric engine control unit, basically the computer that controls the motor. Now they've got to push them all the way back down to pit lane to get the tools to make the change.
My goodness.
Press and hold the PC button for 3 seconds.
What a dramatic few weeks it has been for Will Power.
Pace cars in turn 12 meantime.
On the verge of missing the Indianapolis 500 3 weeks ago on qualifying weekend. Never seen him look like that, where he knew he was in serious peril of not making that field. He did with the most gutsiest performance. As Townsend mentioned earlier, hit the wall on his final qualifying lap at over 200 miles an hour and kept his foot in it and finished the lap. Now here, after dominating the race, mechanical dramas, electrical issues let him down. Team Penske crew will not give up.
And look at Will Power, steering wheel off.
And they told him to get out, Townsend. The race is over for Will Power. Wow.
Oh, no driver deserves that. No driver deserves that, whether you're a champion or not. That is gut-wrenching. When you've driven that well, that hard, that skillfully in these conditions, it could have happened to any of the 25 here today, and nobody deserves that. That's brutal.
Oh boy, it was there for Will, and it went away with the red flag. I don't know how to even ask the question to take me through your emotions right now.
I'm mad at IndyCar because I'm the first car in, and they wait for the last car to come to get a fan on that car, and it roasts the ECU. And just going red flag for starters, like, the guys up there in race control never listen to any drivers. They never listen. They don't care. We've given them so many good suggestions, and they don't care. And it's just, I worked my ass off today to have this happen. Like, I'm screaming on the radio, we need a fan, get a fan.
And it wasn't for you, it was for the car.
Yeah, because the ECU always overheats. They wait for everyone. These guys have still got air coming in their car. Like, you work your ass off in this sport. So much money goes into it, and it's just dumb decisions like that. Like, oh, man, if it's not a yellow they throw, it's some stupid idea like this, a red flag. So, yeah, he gets the same luck too, man.
Sorry, Will. Try again tomorrow. As you can see, and what you didn't see is the immense frustration from a race that was there and didn't come to fruition. And we've got another spinner, and it's two cars. Scott McLaughlin is one of them, and then Dalton Kellett as well.
Well, that will bring Marcus Ericsson into the pits because he's going to have to come in the next 4 or 5 laps.
I had nowhere to.
Well,
I was already kind of committed to that arc, and he was right in the middle of the track.
This is going to be interesting depending on how many yellow laps this is. There's 39 to go right now. I think you can go 34. Someone might duck in at the end of this caution to top up. If you get one more yellow, you might luck out and make it to the end. So strategy still a main point here as we see a replay.
Oh, his teammate again.
Oh,
you know, Will Power stuffs it in on his
I think McLaughlin turned in on him.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I tell you what, man. Power's in the hot. He's in hot water
and
with RP.
Kellett nowhere to go. Yeah, I put that all on Will Power here, and unfortunately, this will be reviewed and almost certainly a drive-through.
I've been in those meetings plenty of times when the RP's mad. For that, he's got every right to be mad.
Yeah.
So that's the exit of turn 9, the end of that long straightaway, back over the bridge.
Now the top 4 drivers again on the softer red tire. We haven't gotten to the crossover point yet as Devlin DiFrancesco goes to make a move on Will Power and slams the back of the Verizon driver. And that almost certainly will be a penalty for DiFrancesco. He totally mistimed that one.
Yeah, you know how
wing is under the car, so be really careful on the way in.
Yeah.
Try to hit the brake and get it out from underneath the car.
You know how we've been talking a lot about the calm and the new Will Power? I think Devlin DiFrancesco is going to see a little bit of the old Will Power.
He had just made a great move on another veteran, Castro Neves. This is the same corner where he got Castro Neves the lap before, and Power is defending, pushes DiFrancesco a little bit wide, but kept him on the racetrack, and then DiFrancesco comes and tries to do the fake right
shoot left once, and then shoot left again, and just really gets it wrong down there.
Yeah, it's I wonder if there's damage to the front wing of the 29. It was a pretty good hit there. Will able to keep his car running. I'm not sure if he's able to get rid of that front wing because it's very dangerous if you ride on board here.
Pressure inside.
You can see it's already over there.
Let's not lose sight of the fact this is the championship leader. Power just took the lead last weekend in Detroit, courtesy of his victory.
So between Alex Palou and Will Power, two front runners in the championship, already having problems. Palou out of the race, and Will Power just manages to keep himself from going a lap down, but will have to come into the pits and get a new nose.
Well, got to be careful here that he doesn't over-hustle the car with no front wing, but he should be as quick as he possibly can because they can't get a front wing on that.
Will Power comes in. Front wing assembly can be changed very quickly. It's under caution. They're checking the rest of the suspension, looking over the rear of the car to see if they notice any other damage. They've not made a Firestone tire change this time, so I could see them doing the wing change, maybe going back out, coming back in, and potentially changing tires if they want, or they may just stay on these primaries, because I know the plan was they wanted to run long, starting on primaries, and maybe do an overcut, meaning pick up some time after those on the softer reds pit early.
So, hopefully that is all that the Verizon Chevy needs as Will Power gets back out on the racetrack.
The championship leader coming in, Will Power, he's running back in 20th position because he had contact early in the race. Devlin DeFrancesco served a penalty for that, and on the radio, Power said, wait till I see him. DeFrancesco, man, wait till I see him. So maybe fireworks. We'll see if the new calm Will Power is still in the same presence as he tries to make his way and salvage some points.
That's what I was saying before. I think the young Canadian is going to meet the old version of Toowoomba's Will Power. So we told you earlier in the show that Will Power said, well, wait until I see Devlin DeFrancesco after crashing me earlier in the race. Here they are here, the bright yellow car and the red car. And there you go. Will says, that's just a little taste of what I'm going to give to you a little bit later. And here he is talking to Kyle Kirkwood. He's saying he KO'd me.
KO'd me.
Yeah. So, I got to say, though, he's less angry than I think he would have been 5 years ago. So the temperament and willpower, the improvement in the temperament continues. That's impressive.
Still second in the championship, but what might have been, you already had a long way to go from there, but we heard you after the contact with Devlin DeFrancesco, and basically was wait till I see him. Have you seen him? And you've had a little bit of time since then. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him, but I mean, we had a fast car. It was just, I kind of wondered if we changed tyres when we were doing the wing. We didn't want to go down a lap, obviously, but yeah, obviously made our day way harder. I don't know what happened here. I mean, you just, yeah. Yeah, nothing I could do about that one, but that is IndyCar. And yeah, not the best day. You have them. Just move on to the next one.
So this does seem to align with the new mentality that you've had over the last year or so.
Yeah.
You're taking this better than a lot of people would at this point.
Oh, man, you can't really do much about it. I mean, he's a young guy, and he's made some big moves this year and that have resulted in some incidents. But, yeah, I mean, I was good on the team for at least, I mean, I got ran off on the last lap there, so maybe we could have finished a little bit higher. But, yeah, we had plenty of push to pass, couldn't do much about it. But, yeah, so we'll see if we can get the Verizon 5G Chevy victory lane again this year. Anytime you get a victory in this series, it's so big because it's so hard. There's a different winner every week, except for Newgarden, obviously. Congrats to him. He won the charity prize, and yeah, he's won 3 races, so he's on a good run.
Thanks, Will. And Will Power has already won this year, and that's 16 straight seasons from last week in Detroit, Dave. All right, just heard from Will Power. He's a lot calmer than he was on the radio, and he was never really super angry, but just had some pointed words. Said, I want to talk to Devlin DeFrancesco afterwards. We've found Devlin now. Tell us your version of the contact that you had with Will during the race.
You know, he had a bad run out of 1, and then I had a run on him into 3, and I went to go to the outside of him. We banged wheels a little bit, you know. He did touch a racing incident, you know. And then I had a big run going into 5, and he went to the inside, which he has his complete right to. I went to the outside, and then I saw him moving back over to the right, so I went to dive bomb him as I made the move a couple of times earlier in the race, and we made contact. I need to look at it better, but that's what I saw from my vantage point.
How challenging is it to navigate these split-second decisions as a rookie in IndyCar when you're just kind of getting used to everything around you?
You know, we were making our number 29 Andretti Power Top Steinbrenner Honda was monster today. You know, we were up to 14 from 21. We were making moves. We were slicing and dicing through people, making those split-second late dive bombs. And, you know, that one, it didn't pay off. I need to look at it more to see what happened because, you know, you could say I made contact with him, which I did, but from my vantage point, it did look like he moved, but we need to look at it better. But, you know, I did make contact with him.
Okay, thank you, Devlin. Lee.
There we go. Got both sides of the story. Interesting takes. And, yeah, interesting to hear from both of the drivers and their take on what was a pretty wild day here at Road America.
This looks like a radio issue, perhaps. Something electronic in the nose of the car. Normally, that's where the radio or the antenna.
You can pass the 45, you want to do that. He's been out there sort of with us. See so close, guy. Copy that.
Pato O'Ward now all over Will Power for second place. Will's going to roll the top. There's a car in front of Pato taking a little bit of air away, but he's got still a good run off of 2. He's going to go again into 3.
That's Kyle Kirkwood in front of them, the A.J. Foyt Racing Sexton Properties. Number 14, Award still on the bottom. Looks like he might have the position. Power's not ready to give it up. Side by side for second.
Depends on what Kirkwood does. Kirkwood goes low. That gives the advantage to Will Power. So that lap car completely dictates in a side-by-side battle who might win.
And now Power says, I want the bottom 2. Takes even more air off the nose of Pato O'Ward's car. And you see that gap open up. Goes from right on his gearbox to about a 3-car length difference.
Don't screw yourself up turning it around. You'll get him eventually.
Great coaching.
There it goes.
Stay patient.
Wow.
And 1 corner later, patience delivers to the high side.
Be patient is code for let's go now.
Yeah. Man, come on. He's going to be a hard guy to pass. Just stay patient. You got a better car than he does. I'll get him. Cute little game he wanted to play. Yep, I know you will. Just don't wreck your tires trying to do it.
Let's see what happens. So here's Canada corner. Will Power, Romain Grosjean, Scott Dixon moving slowly there. And he, oh, wow.
He let Grosjean go by and didn't know Power was coming.
He's just trying to, oh, wow. And straight into concrete as well. No tire barriers there, no safer barriers.
Oh, that's big damage for both cars.
Will has every
Power's
right to be
more
upset about that. From his onboard, just listen. Absolutely nothing Will Power can do in that scenario. Just clearly a huge miscommunication on the 9 stand.
Wow, look at this. Will Power and Scott Dixon are off, and Power is incensed.
This is not something that you see often here in practice. Man, I have never seen Will Power that fired up. I'm trying to see where this is. Somewhere in the last sector of the racetrack. Coming out of Canada corner, it sounds like. Two good race cars destroyed in this incident, whatever it was. Heavy damage, it looks like, to both cars.
So now 2 championship contenders on the same team will be thrashing to prepare for qualifying. This significantly more extensive than Alex Palou's crash. We haven't gotten a good look at Will Power's car.
Hey, Dixon checking out the damage so he can report back to the crew. He'll get there before the car does.
And there are not spotters all around the course.
No, you could see Scott Dixon say, I was trying to get out of the way. He probably thought there was a bigger gap in between the 28 and the 12 and was trying to give Power the line. Dixon was on the racing line, essentially. Heading into turn 13, you want to be driver's right. He was trying to get to the driver's left and allow Will to continue his lap, but just mistimed it. Will had already pulled out to the left to pass him. You can see there's not enough room there for a car to slot in between. Team owner Chip Ganassi not happy about that. You see Alex Palou, his teammate, probably thinking the same thing you are. Now we've got 2 cars we got to fix before qualifying.
Let's hear some radio.
What the
That sums it up from Will Power's thoughts.
So we'll have a replay for you here. We saw a glimpse of your spin in Canada corner. Take us through what happened after that.
Yeah, we were on really old tires, almost 20-lap tires, just trying to get some balance checks. Kind of spun going into 12 there. I'm just watching the replay here now, and then I saw Grosjean out of my mirror after I'd kind of recovered, and then I didn't realize Power was even there. So really sorry for him, and obviously his team just mistake on my behalf, and feel frustrated for obviously wrecking our car and his car as well.
We saw his agitation. Is this something where when everybody calms down, you feel like you need to have a discussion with Will?
No, we ended up getting in the medical car together. He was fine after that. Everybody gets pretty fired up, and especially with how tight things are at the moment. So it's what it is. But I just feel bad for the situation.
Thanks, Scott. So we saw the replay. We'll show you here. But what are your thoughts on what happened? It didn't really look like there was anything you could do.
No, it's just Scott moved abruptly, and I was coming, and it's a very unfortunate incident. It just nothing I could really do there. Didn't expect him to move, and such a pity. Felt like we had a pretty good car. We'll rebuild it and see what happens there. Yeah.
What was the discussion that you two had? Scott said you guys rode back in the medical car together. Was there anything said there?
Yeah, I just said, didn't expect such an abrupt move, and not a good situation. Not a good situation, but these things happen.
Thank you, Will.
The real struggle here is he might be able to keep Grosjean behind him, Scott McLaughlin, but the gap now to the leader, almost 9 seconds.
Not sure I understand why they're staying out, other than the fact that because they started on scuffed greens, they'll have to run sticker greens too, so they probably know that they're going to have to shorten up another stint here. They're in a bit of a hole, perhaps caught off guard by misreading things in the warm-up. Too soon to say. They certainly know how to get to victory lane, but right now it looks like a struggle bus as Grosjean under pressure. Will Power to the outside.
You can do it there. You can roll. Oh, opened his hands up big time.
Opened his hands and flared his elbows.
That was some very aggressive defensive driving, and Power's going to take note of that. He is going to absolutely repay the favor if he gets a chance to get on the inside of the 77 anywhere around this racetrack.
Kevin, there's a Toowoomba temper that's only skin deep there, and Grosjean might have scratched a little too much.
Do you remember at Road America during a practice last year when Will Power told me somebody needs to punch Grosjean in the nose? You may be thinking that again right now.
Well, it might be nose to gearbox here in a few laps if Will Power can get close. And meanwhile, David Malukas, who sits in 5th, is on the same fuel strategy as Will Power.
Well, that's all he does is finish on the podium here, no matter
here
what
comes.
series it's
Watch
in.
Malukas, big run off of turn 4.
He'll look to the inside on Will Power.
Low,
this could be effectively for the win. Side by side with Kevin. They touch, and he goes around. Heavy damage for David Malukas. Battling for Will Power for what might have been the win. And it ends in tears for Malukas.
And this is an interesting caution with only 2 cars on the lead lap, McLaughlin and Newgarden.
And this is a significant crash.
Good to see David Malukas climbing out with the help of the AMR safety team. And what a tough break. It looked kind of like he got pinned down low and washed up as Will Power was going to the high side.
It's hard to know whether it was the Penske car Power going down or the MSR machine of Malukas going up. So Kirkwood comes down, takes a little bit of air away. That was tight.
I think Will Power really pinched David Malukas to the high side.
And knowing that he was going to have the dirty air from, I put that more on Power, to be honest.
Yep.
That's just situational awareness. You know that Malukas is going to pick up some understeer, being that close to Kyle Kirkwood, and really ran him tight.
Is that enough for race control to lean in?
Low. All right.
That's a good hit, too, from Malukas.
Now, keep in mind, Will Power knows what happens to his teammate Joseph Newgarden earlier when he got up into the gray. So he's hugely motivated.
Well, another contender, unfortunately, is out. David Malukas is with Georgia.
Yeah, the previous caution, David Malukas was involved in. He just told me that he's okay. He's been checked and released from the IndyCar medical unit. Was there anything that you would have done differently in that scenario?
Honestly, probably not. You know, I had a run, I set it up, I went down the inside, and, you know, I still need to look over the video to see how it was. But, you know, from my side, I don't know, I just felt like I came in. Yeah, I mean, Power just came by and screamed at me. I mean, I don't even know if he got a penalty there, but I braked, I slowed down, I gave him as much room as I could other than the curb, and he gave me a tap, and that was kind of it. You know, like, there's not much else I can do. He's screaming at me. Man, you have a whole second lane you can go up there. So, yeah, I would still continue to do the move. I thought it was a good move. I gave him the space. We slowed down. If he would have just stayed in that second lane, we would have been perfectly fine. We were side by side, and you come down, and you're going to hit me like that. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. We had a really good race, good car. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks.
I was just going to ask, moving forward to Portland, you had incredible speed all weekend. Are there positives you can take from the weekend?
Yeah. Sorry. It was just such a good weekend for us. I really wanted that result. Yeah, look, it was Toronto was a good result, and this was going to be another good one. Car was really good, and yeah, we'll carry this into Portland. It'll be good.
You can tell just how much this means to David Malukas.
Well, he had a chance for a win. He was one of 3 or 4 or 5 that had a good chance for a win, but he was right in the mix. So it is going to be a 10-lap sprint on the short track on Saturday night in the Midwest. Nothing better you can ask for. It's Newgarden, it's McLaughlin, Herta, Power, Rossi, Lundqvist in play, and the championship leader, Palou.
Newgarden really slow to bring him to speed as there's a crash with Rossi and Power.
In the back, you see Jack Harvey as well. Connor Daly gets some debris. This might cause a red flag, guys. This might cause a red flag. They don't want to finish this race under caution. You're not going to clean up 3 cars in 9 laps.
IndyCar has time.
Paul, hey, come down the pit lane. Ask him if we can come down the pit lane.
Tim Cindric does not want debris on his tires for his driver, Joseph Newgarden.
Come down pit lane.
Yeah, red flags out either way. That was an incredibly slow start from Joseph Newgarden. You're supposed to maintain pace car speed. I almost feel like he went below pace car speed. But a really, really big blow for Will Power. This is huge for the championship. Alex Palou's lead grows significantly. Rossi on course for one of his best results of the season. This is a tough break.
Boy. Did you see the signal that Will Power just sent to his teammate Joseph Newgarden about that restart?
It was slow, Townsend. Like I said, you're supposed to maintain pace car speed.
So there's time for race control to review that.
There sure is.
On Joseph Newgarden.
There sure is. We'll have to see a replay. It was very slow. It was very late. Now, again, leader controls the pace.
McLaughlin was right on his gearbox.
So, yeah, I mean, did Rossi just miss time?
I don't know that Newgarden did anything wrong. It looked consistent speed-wise. It was slow, but it was consistent. The green light came on.
Going late.
There was a speed adjustment there from Power, so you can't really put that all on Rossi either. We have to watch this a couple times from both cars.
It sounded like Power jumped and then had to get off it.
You're trying to roll green.
I want to watch Will's on board one more time because I'm with you. Again, it's not that it's his fault necessarily, but it sort of explains why Rossi got into the back of him. Somebody checks up, because you see the momentum Palou had from behind as well.
I think there was a little bit of checkup, James, from Will Power, but I think Rossi was super jumpy on getting after the throttle.
The question is, why did Power have to check up?
Going late. Go away.
Yeah, I want to see an onboard from one of the front two cars.
Power got on the throttle because the green light was on.
Power almost got into the back of Herta.
Yeah, it was him checking up to avoid hitting the 26. That
it's almost like Will Power was driving the light, not the car in front of him.
Yeah, maybe, but I want to see the onboard from the leader. That's too late. They gotta try to see it sooner. Either way, when you have them going that slow, it's tough, and that's a very, very revved up Will Power.
Oh boy.
I think that was a no.
Well, maybe no. I think he did.
Go ahead, Dylan. Yeah, and let's get Will's thoughts here. Okay, so that restart, there was a lot going on. What is your take on who did what wrong there?
The leader, whoever's leading, like where you're supposed to go, like in between 3 and 4, he just waited, then he went, he stopped, he went, he stopped, and I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I checked up, because he checked up again, I knew I was going to get pounded. So, man, disappointing. Had such a good car. Like we just get to the last 10 laps of the last 2 races and have bad luck, but we'll keep fighting and see if we can get the Verizon Chevy up there, and that's pretty tough now from here, but I don't know why. I do not know why they would just keep backing up and going, not going. I do not understand it. Anyway.
Thanks, Will. Let's see if we can step in here and grab a word with Tim Cindric, who is just on the radio here and observing. I think he's just getting ready to chat with Joseph here, so we'll give him just a sec to get his headset off. So I know that restart, probably not exactly how you want it to go, but ultimately it's got you guys the lead. How tough will it be to hold off McLaughlin here?
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate, obviously, with Will getting caught up in that. That's the last thing we wanted. So, yeah, we'll see how the rest of it plays out. Obviously, the team's done a great job all day and done a great job in the pits. But, yeah, it's a shame it ended up that way.
What's the strategy been like for you on top of the box trying to keep up with all of this? And even amongst the team, you guys are on 3 different plans.
Well, I'm hoping he can get a spin and win out of it. But we got a little bit of work to do.
All right, it's tense down here for sure, guys, with 8 laps to go.
Animated Will Power there, discussing with Ron Rzuski.
He is a winner for the 5th time here on the oval, just east of St. Louis Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's Joseph Newgarden. You said over the radio after the checkered flag, we needed that one. Just how badly did you need it?
Well, I think the team needed it. You know, they've done a great job. On the 2 cars specifically, they've done a really good job. They've given me race-winning cars throughout the year, even past Indy, and they haven't materialized. So it's nice to get another one on the board. And the worst part about that is obviously the 12 not making it home. I mean, I hate that happened at the very end. I don't, I watched it on the TV. It kind of looked like the green went out before I went, just momentarily, and it caused a big accordion. So I hate that happened. I mean, it's the last thing you want with 10 to go is to create a mess. So I wasn't trying to do that, but this team did an amazing job. We've had fast cars right from the start. And I'm just really proud to have the PPG car back in victory lane with Team Chevy.
Would you have done anything different on that last restart?
No. I mean, I was trying to go as late as I could at the end of the zone. I've done that a lot, so I wouldn't have done anything different.
Congratulations. Celebrate with your team. Joseph Newgarden, a 5-time winner here at Gateway.
You say high drama. It's drama out on track, but high drama down in pit lane. Kevin Lee, what is going on?
So Joseph Newgarden's number 2 team Penske, the 2-time defending champion, is rolling back to the garage. There's been a lot of frantic work, and I think the 12 of Will Power is also coming back, pulling out of line. They were working on the attenuator, the rear of the car, right before they were set to begin qualifying. And at first notice, Chip Ganassi says they can't do that. That's not allowed. You're not allowed to make these kind of changes once you've gone through tech. There was a lot of conversation. No comment from Team Penske. No comment from IndyCar yet. But both of those cars are pulling out of line. We'll find out if they have a chance to qualify for the pole.
Well, guys, I have no idea what's going on with a grinding wheel to the carbon
attenuator on the back of the race car there.
This is, guys, I have to say, absolutely huge news. We saw last year's pole sitter, Scott McLaughlin, crash this morning. His car unlikely to take part in qualifying. Now, both of these cars pulled out of pit lane where they were due to run in qualifying to be taken back to the garages, not with, I must say, a huge amount of speed taking them back there. It all appears very, very casual for them. And this is the team which locked out the entire front row of the grid at last year's Indy 500.
No urgency apparently from the crew members here. And James, the top 12 is one run, one attempt for everybody through the line. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. A big surprise on pit lane and now on Gasoline Alley. And Will Power is still strapped into the race car. And they might just roll right into the garage and close the doors here.
So still looking for more details of why Will Power and Joseph Newgarden pull it out of line, but I have confirmed from IndyCar they failed pre-qualifying technical inspection. To get the reason, we'll need to get a comment from the team. We are efforting that from Team Penske.
We're back at Indianapolis. What a day for Penske. If you're just joining us, Scott McLaughlin crashed in practice this morning, does not take part in Fast 12. Penske, neither of their remaining cars will take part in qualifying now after the team failed tech. So no Joseph Newgarden, no Will Power, no Scott McLaughlin.
Can you elaborate on why the two Team Penske cars pulled out of line?
Well, there was a body fit violation on the rear attenuator. So as quick as this process happens, we ran them through tech. We got everybody in line, and then right near the end or prior to qualifying, they decided that they would just pull out of line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now let's talk to Tim Cindric, the president of the IndyCar operation for Team Penske. What caused the cars to not be able to qualify? Was this a problem that was discovered once you got out to the pit lane?
Yeah, so essentially the 12 car had actually passed inspection. And as the 2 car went through inspection, it was pointed out that basically the officials didn't like what you saw on television there. There was a blending there on the attenuator. And we decided, look, the 12 car, let's go look at that, and the 12 car was the same way. So there was really no reason to run the 12 car knowing that it was like the 2 car, and they didn't like the 2 car. So I in fact went back and looked at the 3 car from this morning, and it didn't have that. So there's a bit of a randomness internally there that we need to sort out, but it's a shame we didn't give our guys a chance to go for it.
So the cars got out to the pit lane. One of them had passed tech. They were both lined up in the pit lane when you discovered it, so you were...
Well, it's my understanding that the 12 car actually went through inspection, and the officials didn't like the 2 car. And when we asked if we could modify that or change that before we ran, it was understood, at least initially, that we might be able to do that. But you know, when we look back at it, and if I was one of the competitors, I'd have the same argument that you're only allowed to change certain things once you pass inspection, wing angles, tire pressures, and so forth. So that was outside of what you're able to do, you know, once you go through inspection, and you've got to report to inspection on time. So at the end of the day, we didn't do it right.
You mentioned the blend line. Explain what that is.
Well, there's a seam. There's just a seam on the attenuator. So we had filled that seam on evidently some of our attenuators, and others we hadn't. And honestly, I think it's an arbitrary thing. When I look, like I said, I looked at the 3 car that crashed today, and it wasn't like those. So once I knew that the 2 car and the 12 car were the same in qualifying line, there was no use to put our cars at risk.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow for practice.
Well, there was bombshell news today inside the IndyCar paddock as Team Penske was penalized after technical violations. Drivers Joseph Newgarden and Will Power, who were each set to start the Indy 500 in the top 12, will now start at the back of the field. 2-time defending 500 winner Newgarden will start 32nd, while 2018 500 winner Power will start 33rd.
Will Power puts the nose to, oh my goodness, this is good stuff.
What? He's stuck. He's not stuck. He is
no, he is flooring it into the back of Kyle Kirkwood.
Didn't even try to hit the brakes.
Chrome horn.
He's stuck.
On display.
Mate, you hit the brakes, not stick.
Yeah, no,
that is a very intentional
driving
move, and that's insanely dangerous. If that, I cannot. Well, he just forced him by Malukas and then nearly stuffs him in the wall.
What did Kirkwood do to deserve that?
Doesn't matter, T-Bell. You can't do that. That's unbelievable. I would be shocked if he's not called to the principal's office after the session for that. I mean, I don't know what rule you try to get him for, but at the very least, have a talking to.
I mean, there's bump drafting and there's bump drafting.
Yeah. That was like a tush push, 4th and goal.
That was...
Listen.
Kirkwood. Look, he's turning. Look at him. Gee whiz.
Oh, man, Kirkwood was on the radio trying to describe what he was experiencing. And remember what happened last year with Kirkwood and Ferrucci in the same part of the racetrack.
We might see more potential fisticuffs.
And no damage to Will Power's car, seemingly. It's like he planted his nose perfectly into the attenuator or just off the attenuator.
That move with Power broke the whole gearbox cover on Kyle Kirkwood's car. So they're getting it fixed, but not a lot of movement right now.
And not a lot of movement from race control and even investigating it, which I find perplexing.
The fact that he's losing legitimate track time right here, I mean, this isn't funny. This is quite a big issue, and I'm shocked that there's been nothing from race control. At the same time, there quite literally might not be a rule. I've never seen anything like that, T, but I don't know if, I mean, you think it's funny, but I don't know what, short of sitting him down after the fact and say, hey, maybe don't do that.
Does that not come under forcing a driver off the track?
Well, I can tell you that the floor is broken on the 27. I just caught up with Brian Herta, and he is also wondering if penalties will be inflicted on Will Power. So waiting on that, but definitely not happy on the 27 stand right now, and the floor is broken on Kyle Kirkwood's car.
Well, according to Will, the contact was unavoidable because they were stuck.
Is that what he said?
No, you.
Oh, me? I thought you meant Will Power.
Yeah, maybe Will's going to say that too. Hey, we were stuck.
Contact with Kyle Kirkwood. How did that transpire?
Well, I came around and he slowed up in the middle and made contact. So I thought, well, I may as well get a gap now. So I just pushed him past the car in front, just moved him out of the way and got a really nice gap. So, yeah, if I hadn't touched him already, I was like, oh, well, I'm already touching him. I may as well just keep pushing him. And get myself a gap, got a good gap, and finished the run nicely.
Well, he said, I already know what you're going to ask me, but we did get Will Power's perspective on the moment. So I'd like to hear your perspective on the push.
I don't know. Everyone's going slow around here. The track's not big enough to fit all the cars, and he got frustrated. I mean, whatever, I guess. Is it give him the right to push my car through a couple corners and almost cause a wreck? I don't think so. But yeah, right here, Malukas is right in front of me. Like, I can't really do much, and he's just shoving me along. So everyone stopped. So I don't know. I'm not upset. I don't care. We're P1. But at the same time, I expect IndyCar to do the right thing with that. I'm sure that they'll do something. Who knows what? Never seen that before. But good day in the Siemens 27 Honda. We had damage from that too, so maybe we were even a little bit faster. So who knows?
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
And I wonder what his reaction would have been were he not P1 right now. And earlier today in practice, Will Power certainly felt that Alex Palou didn't give him enough of a gap out there on circuit. This, the onboard from the number 12, slowing down as Palou came out onto the track from the pit lane. And after the session, Will Power went to vent his frustration, shall we say, with Alex Palou.
I was treating her. Why? I always move people out of the way. I always get out of the way. Like you just the whole session. Good job out there. Yeah, thank you. Why is he not talking to you? What? Who? Really? Who? Oh. Was he mad? Yeah.
Palou all smiles, but what about Power?
So that was interesting, Will, at the end of the last practice session. What were you most upset about? What was resolved?
I went out in new tires and he came out a lap later in front of me and then stayed there and then spent 4 laps just going slow. So I had to keep backing up, which was frustrating. And then I came in, made a change, went out on a money lap, sent him out of the pits again right in front of me. And he didn't move, he just kept going and I had to back up again. So and he didn't have anyone in front of him and I had clear behind me. He could have just backed off, which I always do for him and anyone else if I'm in that position. So just a little bit frustrated with that, whether it's on him or they sent him there. But he said sorry when I walked up because he knew, but it's, we're struggling. We're trying to get an idea of what our car is doing, and if you keep backing up, lose tire temp, you don't know. So that's why I was frustrated.
Do you know what you have? Because you didn't get a clean lap yesterday on the softs and didn't get one today in practice either on the hards.
Not really. Yeah, I think it's frustrating for everyone to get a lap because these tracks are small with so many cars. But gonna have to send it, man. Like, gonna have to push very hard to get through. So that's the goal.
He's won 5 poles here, going for number 6 today.
Well, that's Power's reaction. Alex Palou watching the replay back, and that's his reaction to it all. And Palou all over the back of Power again. They're going to go too wide on the run down to Canada corner.
Palou and Power at it again, side by side. Power on the inside.
Oh! Both of them past Kyle Kirkwood. Brilliant stuff.
That is a full send like I've never seen before in Canada corner. I'm not sure Power planned to pass Kirkwood. He got in so hot.
He got passed. They both got passed by Palou. So net negative for Kirkwood. Break even for Power. But I'm with
Yellow's
you.
out. Oh, big one.
Schwartzman.
That's Robert Schwartzman
Turn
in the Prema.
12.
Let's take a look at that incredible double overtake. I'm not sure quite how intentional it was, but it was absolutely stunning to see this from ahead, from above, from the helicopter.
Yeah, brilliant run from Alex Palou to get to the outside, and Will Power just decides to go full send to defend and ends up accidentally getting way too deep. Fortunately, Kyle Kirkwood watching everything in his mirror. Such a heads-up move from Kirkwood. Watch this. This should have been a crash with 20 other drivers in the field, but Kyle Kirkwood, who's become a master of finishing races, reminds me a lot of Scott Dixon as you see Kirkwood's view of things, and Kirkwood can only probably laugh and say, this is ridiculous. Kevin.
Not exactly laughing. Entertaining for us. Kirkwood was not a big fan.
The was that, Will? Stupid. I literally just had to avoid them. They should give us that position back.
That's all right, bud. Long race here.
I agree with the sentiment, but that is just not how racing works. I mean, Will was absolutely out of control. But look, that's a championship-winning move from Kirkwood. It's avoiding accidents like that. Like you said, very Dixon-esque. That keeps you in the fight. He would have hated to see Palou going by, but it was great.
And listen, if Kirkwood were to close on this championship down the stretch, we'd look back to that moment as potentially a move that delivers his best worst finish of the season. And you know what? It's not that bad with him running right now, still in 6th.
And a yellow has come out.
Oh, and that's Will Power. Will Power is off and on track, and wouldn't you know it, the luck for Alex Palou shows no sign of disappearing. Made it in just in time before that yellow flag. David Malukas now will lose a lap to the leader as Palou gets out ahead of him.
You can see that Will Power's right sides show evidence of getting into the wall. I don't know if there would be suspension damage there, but Palou and Malukas should be sitting pretty here. We'll have to see how everything blends out.
Hectic sequence, guys. That was crazy timing for a caution. And Power, you can see the frustration there. Let's just see. Trying to go around Kiffin Simpson, gets up a little high, hits those marbles. You see the second he gets into those marbles, pretty hard into the wall in turn 2.
Not that bad, but I wonder why his car came to a stop.
Oh, he's lost power. Yeah, he's lost drive, not able to get into pit lane.
So potentially had a gearbox issue.
No,
there.
he did it again. He tried to go into turn 3.
Broke the toe link probably on the initial contact.
Here with Will Power. Unfortunate day, but I'm sure. I'm sure you've had a chance to look back at what happened. What did happen to kind of send you into the wall there?
It's we came out on new tires, and I went into 2 on the first lap, and Kiffin, I went to go low, and he drove me all the way down. And then I thought, well, I'll go high this time. Next time around, then he drove me all the way up and got into marbles and touched the wall. And then it broke the toe link. I went in the next corner and just no rear, unfortunately. Yeah.
It sounded like you guys were going to try to go back out there, but it just wasn't possible.
There was nothing to gain. didn't want to get in people's way and all that. So, yeah, man, disappointing.
And are you going to have you talked to Kiffin yet? Will you talk to him?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think Joseph's going to be pretty mad at him just looking at it. Hey, just looking at what he did to Joseph there. Similar thing. I don't know whether he's told to do that by his team to help Palou, but it's pretty rough. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
man.